Hey, hey! Hello, little cute girl. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Wonderful to see you in here tonight. How are things? How is is it Saturday? How is Saturday evening going for everybody? Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning, Sunday morning? Welcome in. Welcome in. This little cute girl, the recipient of one of our giveaways last night. Your shirt is on the way. Yeah, wonderful to have you in here. Just chilling. Yeah, we're kind of doing that. That's kind of a little bit what's going on tonight. Like some straight up chilling. Because I gotta say, I am, we did 4.5 hours last night for our charity stream, and it did take a little more out of me than usual. There was a little more to it than we have in the past. But I spoke to my brother today, and he's more than thankful for everything that was donated last night, for everybody to just hang out and made him feel really welcome in the stream. And I thank you guys as well for making him feel really welcome in the stream, because that was his first time really being on Twitch or any kind of online broadcasting before. So you know what, that's it meant a lot to him. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to everybody who that money is going to go toward to help out with any cancer research there. So yeah, Tadpole Nebula. This is one of our single shots from back in England of this nebula. Now I've done a wide field view of this one. I haven't even stacked any of the images. But it's a really interesting looking nebula, which is it's part of it's next door to the Flaming Star Nebula, and thank you. We didn't know how things were going to go. I know our dynamic is we know how we are off stream, so it was not so much trying to tone things down, but just showing you guys that we had a very good time here. Also, let's going to move this for the moment. Where are we here? But yeah, no, it was we had a really good time. We had a really good time there. All right, I'm going to close that one there, because on stream donations will be going back toward astrophotography. But if anybody is still looking to do any donations, I thank everybody for the support last night. But my brother's page is still open for the remainder of the month, and pretty much year round there can be donations made to Movember or any other charity that you would wish to donate to that is going to help out men's health, men's mental health and well-being. And yeah, just had a wonderful time last night, and it was great to see you guys in here. So thank you guys very much for making it a very special night. And I know we strayed from the our ordinary kind of format of astronomy. We squeezed a little bit in there, but I think it was more important to spread that message of what my brother is doing and just how things have been going in terms of with our lives, and people sharing what what you guys have been up to as well, and what's been impacting your lives. I'm pretty sure if I went like full Bic on my head, there would be very little very little difference, save for the mustache. Like I was saying before, last night, that somebody had thought that we were just kind of brothers, that we were, that we kind of looked alike, but he didn't think we were actually brothers because we got on so well. I didn't go figure. Sonic Atomic, what's going on? Dr. Canuck, ooh, we're not there yet. How are you doing? Printer Ready, Printer One. Hello, Printer. How you doing? Beep beep, you're a sheep. What's going on, Dylan Royal Gaming? How are you? Hello. Good to see you guys in here tonight. How is everybody doing on a Saturday? Now, one of the fun things we did last night that I didn't know how it was going to turn out, and I was very pleased with it, was rating the mustaches. Well, obviously we chose which mustaches we were rating there. So that is, that list is available if you want to tweak it, if you feel that you could do, if your opinion is much different than ours, that is all right. but that's what we feel for our mustaches. Our picks for the best mustaches ever to adorn an upper lip. You didn't like the mustache. Which mustache joke was that? Which one was which one was that there? Well, no, he. I was talking to my brother today. He had a fantastic time, and again, he wants to. Oh, why do the Cowboys have? That one, yes. No, it's all good. Actually, one thing I do want to apologize for, and I want to reiterate, is I said Jake the Snake Roberts from Coldwater, Michigan. It's Stone Mountain, Georgia. You can see the error in my ways. It's not. It may not be important to anybody else. It may not be important to anybody else here, but it's important to me. I wanted to clarify that because in the moment, I had him from the wrong place. So if anybody is in Coldwater, Michigan, thinking, "Holy potatoes, Jake the Snake Roberts lived here," no. Sorry, everybody in Coldwater, Michigan. That is not the case. Everybody in Stone Mountain, Georgia is freaking out. Got the place wrong. You got him wrong. Why no Chris Hadfield? I think that was default S tier. That was default S tier. Like, he had everything. He had the space. He had the space tick. He had the Canadian tick. He had that is Chris Hadfield's glorious mustache. Like, that would have been like no surprise of an S tier. There would have been nothing on that there. Now, that being said, we also felt that perhaps that Chris Hadfield's mustache was, a little similar to some other ones there. Now, I don't know. Am I able to edit this thing? Can I edit this list on there? Because if I can, I have a few. There are a couple other mustaches that did come up last night. Chris Hadfield being one of them. And I guess if a non-Canadian is doing this list, maybe things would be skewed a little more in someone else's favor here. But we had a lot of fun with that. This was actually pretty fun to do. And you know what? I mean, it's a... I'm not going to say it's not a silly thing at all. It's kind of fun. Actually, what I think I'll do is later on down the line is we'll do something for... Oh my goodness. Okay, there are 101 Messier objects in the catalog that Charles Messier created back in the 1700s. Now, if we did all 101, if we chose all 101 Messier targets, where would they sit? What would be... All right, that's the thing. I'm gonna post that up on Discord later. See what people may think about that. If we'll do a tier maker for Messier objects, or maybe space telescopes, something like that. Well, see, I think I would disqualify myself from this one because there is an entire beard attached to this with the mustache. So in that regard, that is also why Yosemite Sam was so low, because it just seems like that follows from his eyebrows, his mustache, and down to everything is on his face. I was thinking, hates that rabbit. So that's why he's down there. Some people had a little bit of a complaint with Yosemite Sam, but I try to defend our choices as best as possible. But then we kind of looking back on it, you almost see like a trend in everything, in all the mustaches. Like A tier: Burt Reynolds, Sam Elliott, Luigi, Ron Burgundy, Freddie Mercury, Jim Van Horn, Alex Trebek, Nick Offerman. They all have that very similar shaped mustache. Now, a funny thing would be, let's break down these tiers even further, and who ranks where in each tier. But this was fun. I enjoyed this. This is actually pretty cool, and I think it's a fun little thing to do. It took a while to kind of set up, just to find some mustaches, but I think it is something that we can do in the future for some other lists. Just because it's fun. We'll get get everybody involved in there, and you guys can cast your votes on where you think is who can sway me to maybe pick a different tier, perhaps, of where everything is going to go. But other than that, it is. Oh, why did we drop in some frames? What happened there? Other than that, it is a Saturday evening, a rainy day astronomy session. We have all the clouds. We have all the clouds out here. You can barely see them. Someone left a light on out there. It's okay. The snow is melting, but the clouds are not dissipating. So that's a bit of a problem. That is that's a big problem, because what we want to be doing is taking images of outer space. However, I do have quite a bit of time put on the Tadpole Nebula from my wide field telescope, so we get a nice big look at this area there. Tropical Geek, hello. Hello, how are you? It's it's a funny thing. Everything is purple in the ironically enough in the Grey Highlands. So it's I still am waiting to get the Wise Cam sorted out. We have maybe some better night color images there. Have you seen the news about SpaceX? How new is this news? The last thing I was watching was it was Rocket Labs. Not Rocket Labs, sorry. One of the launches last night, just before I was about to head off to bed. I saw that there was a launch happening there. Waking up from a nap. Naps are glorious. Naps are fantastic. Yeah, what's the latest and greatest SpaceX news? Because if it's more satellites being launched for Starlink, the only thing I'm concerned about is where is my freaking satellite, Elon? Tell me now. We now know when the FDA should be done with their environmental report. Wait, FDA or FAA? Where were we? We were over here. I'm thinking, you can't eat a rocket. I mean, you could try. You could try to eat a rocket, but I probably would not recommend it. Would not recommend that action at all. Just get all the advertising. Get all the advertising there. People are like, who the is Astro Canuck? That rhymed. How good of a campaign would that be? How good of a campaign would that be? Who is this guy? Who Astro Canuck? But this is the constellation we're going to be doing some processing on here, the tadpoles. Now it is a wide field view. Let's see if we have our field of view that we got there. Yeah, so we'll have a little bit of the flame. We should have a little bit of the flaming star kind of showing up in there, possibly even a bit of the Spider Nebula. We'll see how that's going to turn out there. I don't recall how many hours I have on this target. We will check that out in a bit. I'll stack it up in Deep Sky Stacker. But that is the target we're going to work on tonight, and just see what kind of details we can get out of there. What's going to be interesting to see, especially since we haven't done an actual long-term or a long session imaging, a long imaging session on this target. So we'll see what kind of details we can get out of there. We've done many hours on the Flaming Star Nebula, and actually we did just under about half an hour on the Flaming Star Nebula a little while back from one of our live streams recently, that when we actually had some clear skies. A deadly fork. What the fork? What's going on? How are you? What do you mean image processing? Well, we're going to take images like this. Well, actually, it's not so much like this, but we're going to take live astrophotography images that we shot, and we'll do some processing and really pull out some of the details, because usually a single image from outer space isn't as fantastic as some of those images you'll see in like National Geographic. Not that I have any of those quality images, but there is some work to do on an astrophotography image to bring out all those details, because everything that comes out is fairly dim. So we want to be able to pull out those details. So that's what we do here. Usually we're taking live images of outer space, but unfortunately tonight, because we have, well, just crummy weather and cloudy skies, we're doing the next best thing, really. We're going to make space jump off the page, as it were. Fork you, not on your knife. Hey, let's spoon. But yeah, there's the editing going on. There's no manipulation that's happening with the image. We're just pulling out all the detail from the raw files that are behind there. A little zoom and spoon. We spoon and zoom, perhaps. But yes, how are you doing tonight, Deadly Fork? So you're a Deadly Fork. Would that imply that there are more Deadly Forks in your group? You have the Deadly Fork. You see the pics with the bruh on Discord? Bruh. Dead Chrome. You're not the Dead Chrome, but a Dead Chrome. Hello, Dead Chrome. What's going on? How are you? How are you doing tonight? Yes, I did see the Discord pics. I appreciate that. Where is my Discord tab? It seems to have gone amiss. Let's open it up there. There's probably a whole deadly drawer. Working hell. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's awesome. It was great to see everybody in there last night. And like I said, my brother was very happy with things. And for those who are questioning, who are wondering how much of a twin, does he look like here? It's I guess it's fairly close. I can't see it. I can't directly see it all the time. But there are, I guess there's some, I see the nose. I see the nose a little bit. I mean, that's a dead giveaway right there. I mean, look how we hold the mug. Actually, he has the one-fingered approach. I got I use two fingers. Oh dear. He got more beard and some other little differences there. It's the hairline. It's the hairline. It's starting to match his. But he is a lot more adventurous with his facial hair. I've been bearded for quite a while now, and I really don't stray away from that. Maybe the length is drastically increased. I think especially over the course of the pandemic. The name came from Halo 2. It would say you were killed by a deadly fork. Yeah, forget those plasma grenades. Forget that damn needler dropping your shield. If you're killed by a deadly fork, you know you up. And the eyes, the nose, and the face, and the movements. I guess the movements too, yeah. I guess so. I'm glad I have this little button on here, because there are times when I know I just need to swear, but I don't always like to. I've seen the crazy beard events where the men do the craziest designs in their beards. It is damn amazing. That is an art. That is a craft in itself to see people doing that. And I purposely left those styles of mustaches / beards off of our list last night, because it's just something like that doesn't quite fit in the category there. I think those are like a tier list all on their own.
Holy potatoes.
So that is the well, hello there. That's the category that we'll maybe, I said we'll do that maybe next year for Movember. Do some of the crazy beards and things like that. But now there's a couple of things from last night that I was saying were kind of going to be some limited edition things, like a couple of the channel point reward. I left the Mobro on there, and I've also, for our emotes, I've left the mustaches. I'm going to leave them up there for the rest of November. Oh, get well soon, please. Please survive. Please make it. Hang on, one more moment, Deadly Fork, please. There's an epic scene from the IT crowd with the beat buzzer iconic ending.
What are you wearing?
Is it like The Office in another country? It's the IT crowd. Well, it's more of the. Which one is that with? That's not with Richard Iowati, is it? And I don't know, but it's another one of those series that I never quite got into there. Yes, Richard, he's hilarious. He's him and Chris O'Dowd are tremendous there. Can I be your science teacher? I would like to be everybody's science teacher. What's going on, mate? How are you? Oh, and then someone's pushing the bleep button on the wall. Doing well. Good to have you in here today for our rainy day astronomy, where we'll talk about kind of freely anything at the moment, which is always fun. Yeah, usually talk about astrophotography and astroimaging, and tonight we'll be doing a little bit of processing on the Tadpole Nebula, or the tadpoles, and yeah, just we're having just a good time tonight, really. But no, glad to have you guys in here. So there's something here. Let's finish the clip there.
Well done, Paul. You're back on the payroll. As for you, it would have been even worse if Paul hadn't been so quick on the profanity buzzer. Well done, Paul. You're back on the payroll. As for you, you fucked up. Shouting at Japs. Mad feet.
1 a.m. for you. I used to be in that area of time. Do you have ever done laser to the moon on reflectors? I have not. I have not had a. I've not had the opportunity to do something like that there. I think the more kind of off the away from the norm is I'm going to try to build a radio telescope with the spare satellite that I have kicking around. I am straight up. Yes. I'm your science tutor now. Well, I will attempt to answer questions about astronomy and astrophotography to the best of my ability. Yeah. Wonderful having you here, mate. Green Jenny, hello. Yes, a radio telescope. Where is this the page I had? I still have that open from Hackaday. That's what I'm looking into. See if we can get this working. If we can get something like this going, and that is does astral projection fall under the scope of astral? Well, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been to Comertage, and I've forgotten a lot of my training. So, don't know if we'll be doing astral projections at the moment. And if there's any current spoilers, let's not hear them. Oh, I remember what I was gonna do. I remember what I was gonna do before the stream. I don't know if I'll do it now or maybe for tomorrow. Is have a little countdown. If there's any, well, I'm thinking like, well, with anything with Doctor Strange on the with his forays into the astral plane. You know, with all the latest info with Spider-Man No Way Home and everything else. I'm happy with the trailer that had come out, and that's about it. We'll Ugonium. What's going on, Lux? Ugonium X. What's going on? How are you? Good to see you in here. Good to see you.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the mustache.
Oh, it's me, a mustachio. Ugonium. Oh, for Pete's sake. Ugonium, thank you very much for the tier 1 resub.
Holy potatoes!
Thank you very much. Let's see where this one goes. Now we've activated and deactivated three filters. Ugonium, onto the spike of appreciation for you. Oh, well, there goes the well. Just yeah, that's fair. Just testing a little bit there. How you doing, Lux? Yeah, did you ever hear the story behind Gilbert and why he was removed from the Emmys? To my mind, I can't say that I recall. I cannot say for sure. Oh, wonderful to have you guys in here. So what did he do? You saw the tweet about the beard stream. You missed it because you're very sick, not COVID, though. Oh, Lux. Well, get well soon. Get well soon. Should you go to sleep or watch me? Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm not one to tell anybody to forego sleep, but if you are interested in astronomy or astrophotography, if you like to stick around for a bit, that's great. That is fantastic. I do appreciate if you want to stick around. Although, you know, we try to stream as regularly as possible. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings are our regular streaming days, with tomorrow morning being our Lazy Sunday Lego stream. And I'm still deciding on what set we're going to be building tomorrow, because we did finish our lunar lander, our Lego lunar lander, a week early. So we'll try and decide what we're going to do with that. Make a Lego moon. We got that little, there is like the lunar surface there.
We copy you down, Eagle. Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot. 1 giant leap for mankind. Oh, that looks beautiful.
It was during the time Pee Wee Herman was caught in the movie theater, and Gilbert Godfrey said, "Isn't that crazy? Now, that's against the law. I should be on death row."
40 feet down,
oh, wow.
Picking up some dust. 4 forward, drifting to the
no,
right.
I can't say that. I did not recall that there. That was good timing. That was very good timing.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
Was there a jet that came out of the lander when they were landing? I don't know. Well, they would have had. There were the rocks to slow their descent. No, because there really isn't much of an atmosphere. Marabou, hello. It is a total rainy day. Totally. How are you doing? Well, it's not actually. No, it's almost a rainy day. It's very cloudy. It's very cloudy. It's been threatening with snow. But other than that, what's the favorite space movie of all time? I think we have to kind of maybe that can be a broad question in the sense that is it you want something that's kind of like accurate or just an overall entertaining movie? Because I can give you like some top 3. I can give you I would say in no particular order: Interstellar up until the last 20 minutes, all of The Martian, and Mission to Mars. Chronicles of Riddick. I like the Riddick series. The Riddick series. Ghost of Mars with Ice Cube. Oh my gosh. That's one that actually okay. Now we only did this once. Yesterday. But I'm already thinking about other things that we can do with that. Because, now we're talking about what's the best nebula? What's the best movie? You rank planets. Something like that. I think that would be fun. That would be some fun. So that's what we did last night on our stream, where my brother and I we ranked some of the top mustaches. I know you want to go back and watch all of the Chronicles of Riddick, starting with Pitch Black. Favorite area of space to take pictures of? Exactly. Maybe. Oh my goodness. See, this is getting wonderfully out of control here. You put Pluto into S tier. Ooh, that's a hot take. I would say, there's so many we can do there. That we could, there is an overall greatest targets, then maybe different catalogs. There were some of the mustaches, if someone doesn't agree with, there were reasons why they're in those tiers. Why they're in those tiers there. Mate, you're saying Pluto in D tier. All right. Planet 9 a real S tier for its incredible feats with hide and seek. But no, this was fun. It was fun doing this. So you know what? We'll work this in. Maybe a semi-regular stream. Maybe like maybe we kind of work it and maybe do like image processing and then a little bit of we'll pick some we'll make a list. We'll throw that onto the Discord. Maybe we'll make suggestions in on another channel there for what we'd like to do for a tier maker, what we would like to see. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it, and just some other people chiming in with agreeing or even emphatically disagreeing with some of the choices that we made last night. Have you seen the image of Io? You never knew it was like that. Do you have a link? A naughty list. How naughty? Wait. No. we try to keep it fairly clean. Fairly clean. We're not gonna say who has the show business, or anything like that. So, we'll keep it. You put on Discord, all right? Israel's got the Pringles. Yeah, we got. They their mascot took part in November. They started with shaving at the first of the month there. And Discord. For those of you who are not sure, that's not me with a filter. That is my brother from last night. Io is one of the most volcanically active bodies in our solar system. It is stressed between being pulled and being contracted and compressed between the moons of Jupiter and Jupiter itself. That's beautiful. Ship every politician to that planet. Well, all right, mate, you're a little tired. You're gonna go sleep. No worries. Like we try to start some of these streams a little earlier. You know, the nights are getting darker. You know, we're having access to dark skies much sooner. So there are chances that we can start at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you very much for coming on in, mate. Appreciate that. Yeah, we'll hope to see you again soon. Glad to have you with us. And yeah, we're always happy to talk about mainly astronomy, but also food. Food, oh my goodness, food. Food is like next on the list what we always are talking about. And I gotta tell you, tonight, I made a killer mac and cheese bake. Like, if we're throwing that in tier maker, I'm putting this one at it's going to be a tough choice between A or S tier for this mac and cheese. Thinking about it, I am looking forward to a post-stream snack. Not that I'm trying to rush what we're doing here tonight. Not trying to rush that at all. But we are, it's the taste lingers. Where in Canada am I? I am in the Grey Highlands of Ontario. I'm in southwestern Ontario. We have recently moved to the area. There we go. You're eating Malibu chicken right now. It's pretty amazing. What consists of Malibu chicken? Are there like mandarin oranges in it? So this is there are no street lights in our area, like miles away from us right now. So that's the beauty of this. I used to live in a Bortle 8 area, which is almost the highest level of light pollution you can have, and we recently made the move to a new residence. So right now, this area that we're in, it's not looking great weather-wise. We have all the cloud coverage. Grilled chicken, ham, Swiss cheese, and pineapple. Ooh. Grilled chicken, ham, Swiss cheese, pineapple. And that's everything in there. That sounds good. All right. Alexa. Siri? Google. Cheese. No, that does sound good. That sounds wonderful. But yeah, it's I'm always interested in what you guys are eating, because something like grilled chicken, ham, Swiss cheese, and pineapple sounds wonderful. That is a massive link. What are you doing? What? Oh, I don't know if I can show this. Lux. That is. Ooh. The grilled pineapple. You're taking us to Flavor Town. That's okay. It's I'm not fussed on huge links. Plus, if I can preview it, that's fine. All right. See, now I would turn this into. Well, no, I would probably utilize this. A lot of things that I turn into that I cook, it's either like a one-pot wonder or it's like a casserole or something like that. But I gotta say, sometimes, and Mrs. Canuck has coined this term, is I just tend to make in a bowl. So it's just easy. You throw it in a bowl, you eat it. It's delicious. I don't care how it looks, but yeah. Ugh. All right. I'm trying to wonder if we're still going to be in a little bit of Halloween mode or not. What in a bowl? Shit in a bowl. I don't know if that works.
Inevitable.
Wait. What? What in a bowel? That's what a lot of meals turn into, and I'm not fussed by that because it is a quick and easy, delicious meal. But no, that Malibu chicken, that is 100% going on the list for next week. Now, I don't know where Mrs. Canuck is at the moment, but I'm going to have to remember this. Remember Malibu chicken. Malibu chicken. Malibu Stacy. Malibu Stacy's totally wicked dream house. There we go. We got it. We're good. Do I have an Instant Pot? I do not. I don't. All right, mate, you're going to head off. No worries. Hey, it's... You kind of keep coming back for more, don't you? You just can't resist. The allure. No. It's the astronomy that keeps you guys coming back, right? Right? Right. Right. Like I said, we're going to do a little image processing. All right, take care, mate. On the Tadpole Nebula, or the Tadpoles. Now, where is the file folder here for all of our
Holy
targets?
potatoes.
Oh, hello, Goth Fox. It's great in a pot. Get a pot. Here's the recipe. You get a pot, you put some in it, and you eat it. Not literal, figurative. So, I know this is my beard. This is my beard. Get your own. How are you, Goth Fox? How's it going tonight? Glad to have you. Oh, Raven. Hello. 00 Raven. Secret Agent Raven. How are you? Well, we're not actually just getting in a pot. You're doing good? Excellent, excellent. Lovely to have you guys in here tonight. And like I said, I also want to thank everybody who did tune in last night as well. And those who just thought about tuning in, and I don't hold it against anybody at all. It's we all have our own lives going on, and you know what? IRL can get pretty busy sometimes, but I do want to thank those who did tune in last night, even just popping in, saying hello. For our charity stream last night, where we did manage to raise total donations of $490 for Movember Canada, and yeah, happy to say that my brother has all those funds, and he has smashed his goal of $1,000, and he's well over that mark now, and all that money goes towards Movember Canada, supporting men's health and well-being and mental health. So yeah, that was a fantastic stream last night. And we'd also, included making the tier maker, we did a couple of giveaways for some Astro Canuck shirts and mugs, which went off fairly well. Everything went off without a hitch. So, yeah, good to have that last night there. Now, it's not to say that's going to be the last time we'll do that, because I think it was a rousing success, and it was a wonderful time. My brother had a great time. He has already expressed some ideas for what he wants to do for a possible second type of stream, and which would may kind of go in towards he is more of a geologist. I don't hold it against him, but he keeps his head on the ground, and I have my head in the stars. It was a fantastic stream last night. It was a lot of people popping in and out, saying hello, which is always nice to see. I fell asleep really early. There were a few people who messaged me afterwards saying, "I'm so sorry I missed it." I'm like, "That's okay. I appreciate that you're concerned about it. That is all good." But yes, there is that. The Astrocanuck bot has put that donation link. It is not necessary, but if anybody does want to support Movember at all, his donations are still open. For the rest of Movember, I will be hyping that up for him, and we will continue to kind of make mention of
By the power of
the work that he's been doing.
I have the mustache.
Oh, we have the fancy mustache. You're the fancy one. You keep your head in the sky. You're a pilot. Oh, really? Oh, fantastic. Like certified. Like you'll fly people, or you like always have someone else flying with you. It's incredible. That's really cool. That's amazing. Well, yes.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the mustache.
Oh dear. All right. I need to extend that. Should we? Not 30 seconds. It should be a little longer than that. To stop Lux from breaking the system. Airline captain, holy potatoes. Awesome.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the mustache.
Oh, haha. Now, I like this one. I like this mustache. Let's change the timing.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the mustache.
You'd be lurking just to take off makeup you had for stream. Oh, what were you doing there, Raven? What were you you put it on auto? Brooks, hello, Brooks, how are you? You've seen the Milky Way from 35,000 feet. I have seen that once. I caught a fantastic view of the Southern Cross flying back from Malaysia a couple years ago, and that was fantastic. I'm shaving and the mustache is coming back. This is ridiculous. Would I grow it and what the big one? I don't know. I don't know if my face would support that one. Maybe a whole top lip would fall off. That'd be terrible. All right, because there is a flaw in my system here.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the mustache.
I am trying to edit this quicker than Lux can go. Will it work? So yes, all of our emotes, and we have some new emotes as well. All of our emotes are sporting. Well, the mass majority of the emotes are sporting mustaches. I'm going to leave that up. I'm going to leave those up there for the remainder of November, and maybe someone will get some.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the mustache.
All right. What in the name of What in the name of Saturn have I walked into? Hello, Ryan. Good to see you. Good to see you. Lovely, lovely. Lovely to have you in here today. I feel like I should be just so proper. Yeah, there's a little bit of mustache mayhem. We have
by the power of Grayskull,
course Lux has discovered
I have
this.
The mustache.
Oh. Astro Jab, what's going on? How are you? Hello, hello, hello. All right. I think I have it.
By the power of Grayskull, I have the mustache.
Oh, there we go. It's Chris Pratt. Oh
Holy
no.
potatoes.
But yeah, Astro Jab, how you doing? Oh, okay, and this one too. All right. I will get this all sorted into StreamerBot so that we can not so much ruin the fun, but maybe a little control
By
back.
the power of Grayskull, I have the mustache.
What mustache is it going to be now? Oh, what's this one? This one's interesting because there's like 2 layers of that. Oh, hello. This was one of the redeems last night for the. Oh, hello. For our. Yes, exactly. It is a bunch of wonderful nonsense. Oh boy, I don't even know if the voice meter is still on here. But now what's gonna happen? What are we gonna? Oh, good, we have the mustache back. I think that's all of them. So I do have some data. That I've collected, and this data set is for the tadpoles, and I'm just trying to find out where the files are. It is on the original ASI Air. I've been loving the ASI Air Plus. So here's our successor here, and it has been a fantastic upgrade in the system in terms of bringing some images to you guys, and the live stacking. I'm loving how that looks, how that works, and the fact that we can pretty much consistently have pinpoint stars and do exposures, pardon me, that could be like hours if we wanted to. Now, I've accidentally done that. I've accidentally made a multi-hour target for the live stack, and that was when I was shooting the Pleiades, and it was late at night. I happened to fall asleep. However, with a filter that is more suited towards emission nebulae, and I'm getting this kind of detail out of a reflection nebula. I still have the mustache on. There we go. Does it look weird that I don't have that mustache, but still a mustache, but it looks like I don't have a mustache? You know, when people do that, and it always, and no matter how many times you see them, it is still them without their mustache. We were talking about that last night. We were talking about how some people, if they shaved off their mustache, or when they had a mustache for a short time, it was striking to see them without the mustache. Because if I took off this beard, it wouldn't be as nice of a show as my brother's face. Like, this is like Twitch would ban me for saying you're not 12 years, you're not 13 years old, you can't be on here. Neon Coffee Cat, hello Neon Coffee Cat, welcome into the observatory. Glad to have you in here today. We have our rainy day astronomy session, kind of catching up from last night after our Movember charity stream, and after doing this one session with Tier Maker. Welcome back. So what makeup were you doing? You doing a cosplay stream? How much makeup was involved in there? Kinda, all right. I mean, last night the most the extra I've done for a stream is I had some mustache wax last night. I liked how I'm going to be vain for like a hot second here because I liked how the beard looked overall last night. Yes, my brother has a wonderful mustache, but I was just happy with the performance of my beard. It all held up. It brushed out nice and easy. But no, the real fun of the stream last night was making this list, and who is popularized with some fantastic mustaches, and we'll make this a semi-regular thing here, just to have some fun, get some input on here in the stream about maybe what's the best nebula, what's the best moon of the planets in our solar system? Who is the most notable astrophysicist? I don't know. Things like that, you know. Well, if something pops up, then maybe we can make, if we can make a list out of it, then we're gonna rank it. It was fun. I liked it. But today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a little bit of image processing on the Tadpole Nebula, and this is a 10-minute exposure with our larger telescope. However, I did this with the smaller telescope. It is a much more wider field of view, so we'll kind of capture a little bit of the Flaming Star Nebula in there. But we'll stack that up and we'll see how it's going to turn out there. But this is a more of a close-up, high-resolution view of this star-forming region, and it is much larger than its pairing with the Flaming Star Nebula. Where's Stellarium? So it's this pairing here of the Tadpoles and the Flaming Star Nebula, whereas the Tadpoles is 2,100 light years away, whereas the Flaming Star Nebula is 1,500 light years away. And you can see they're almost very similar in size. Rebel Wolf, what's going on? Do you have any recommendations of gear to get for someone that is completely new to astrophotography? Boy, do I ever. Brooks! Well, start off by getting a gifted sub, Rebel Wolf. Brooks, thank you. Thank you very much for the gifted sub to Rebel Wolf. And welcome into the observatory. Quite an entrance, I must say. Thank you for coming in. Boy, oh boy. So that is a very broad question. That is a very broad question for astrophotography. Yes, we do have a receipt printer that will print anywhere from 50 bits and up, and any subscriptions that pop out there. A nice little physical manifestation of the support that people do give on the site. And there are some little upgrades that they're still working on. There was a bit of development that was ditched in favor of streamer bots, so we'll see what we can do. Are we eating something today for cheers? It is back on the menu. It is back on the menu. We have a different flavor now of moon cheese bites. We have some white cheddar black pepper to pair nicely with our scorpion pepper sauce. That is every 50 bits, but it is not necessary unless you want to see me sweat. Anyway, Rebel Wolf, what about astrophotography intrigues you most? It is we will do some deep sky imaging. We'll also do wide field astronomy. My telescope that you can see just in the upper left area is covered up for the moment because we have all the clouds have descended upon us, so there is absolutely no imaging time tonight. But we have been recently shooting in wide field using the ASI Air Plus. So taking some wide field images of these targets there. You would say deep sky, galaxies, nebulae, that sort of thing. So this is with a telescope this is the Skywatcher 72 ED, and it's a 72 millimeter aperture refractor. And the camera that I'm using is the ZWO ASI 533. Has a square sensor, a little bit of a different feel to things, and I'm very happy with the images that are coming through. Granted, the area that I'm in, there's very little light pollution. If it's like some super wide field imaging that you want to do, starting off with something like a star tracker, like a Ioptron sky tracker, sorry, a sky guider, or the Skywatcher Star Adventurer. That's fantastic if you already have like a DSLR kicking around, that you can just plunk that on top of there, and you can start doing some tracking of the night sky, so you can do longer than like 30-second exposures and start to get some of the details coming through in these images. Plus, if you're shooting at a very wide field, like 50 millimeters or lower, it's very forgiving for the tracking, you know. So it's something to look at there. So I do have, right now I'm running 2 different telescopes, not at the same time, but we flip-flop back and forth. So one is a deep sky telescope, which gets us, you know, some of the closer targets, like the Dumbbell Nebula. Actually, no, I apologize. We can get even closer with that, with the RC scope. Portions of the Pelican Nebula, you know, with the 8-inch diameter lens aperture. There's more you can do. So yeah, for astrophotography, if you want to kind of, if you have like a DSLR, a star tracker is a fairly good price point to kind of start with. If you want to start getting into a larger equatorial mount, then your budget is going to start edging toward like maybe $700 to like maybe $1,200, or I don't know, I'm thinking in pounds, possibly like $900 to like maybe like $1,600 for a mount itself. That's without all the gear. So it's kind of like, it depends, like what do you have at the moment? Like do you have a DSLR? Because I started off with a DSLR camera and a stationary tripod. Funny enough, I'm kind of like back to the original setup that I have with the same tripod in my camera here. A mount, like people will say this over and over, that a mount is going to be like one of your most important pieces of equipment, because if that's solid, then you know you can pretty much put any scope on there. You have nothing. Okay, absolutely nothing. TN, welcome back. Hello. So I started my very first telescope. My very first telescope was a Celestron Nexstar 127 SLT, and that telescope was fantastic because it was a go-to scope, and it would point to whatever the targets were, and you could see it in your eyepiece. It was good for visual astronomy. For astro imaging, it was tough because it only followed in it was an altascope, the altitude and azimuth, and so it's only going up and down, left and right. It's not actually tracking the sky, as it were. It'll follow the target, but as the night progresses, that target will start to turn in your field of view, so you end up with a lot of image rotation. When you have the equatorial mount, you know, it is pointed towards the pole star, and it's rotating on the Earth's axis, so you're following the stars as they track across the night sky, so that you're having as pinpoint stars as possible. My first real mount was the Skywatcher EQ6R Pro. The Skywatcher HEQ5 has also been a very popular investment. And like, do you have like a do you have a certain budget that you kind of want to do, or do you have like a rough idea of what you want to spend on like your first bit of a rig there? Because you know, I have shot galaxies. I kind of use my Instagram page for some of the references here. Let's go back to some of the earlier posts, if it will load. Maybe like $3,000 max. All right. Let's get down to some earlier Earlier images. So this is a good example here. Bode's Nebula. Bode's Nebulae. This was using a 300mm lens on the Star Adventurer. This was using the 72 ED on a Star Adventurer, but then moving the telescope onto the EQ6R Pro equatorial mount, I was able to do a much longer integration on this target. So, but this was also like, this was super wide field and incredibly zoomed in. So that's not totally indicative of what we're aiming for. But again, it was like the wide field view there. A few fundamental pieces of equipment, in your opinion, are the mount, telescope, camera, guiding system, and control system. For each part, you'll have multiple options and multiple budgets. And it's kind of like there's the mount that I'm using right now. But if you're just getting into it, I felt personally that using the Star Adventurer, which is where is our Star Adventurer? I know I had a picture of it somewhere. Using the Star Adventurer was very good in the sense that I was able to really get accustomed to the night sky and just become more familiar with the targets. And where is the... I know I have a picture of it somewhere. There's my Star Adventurer and the camera that we're shooting with today. But I thought this was fantastic, where I could have it set up like this with a light kit lens and get... one night I was able to get 9-minute exposures, and that was, I mean, that was fantastic for this little mount. I wouldn't go for 9 minutes on there because I didn't have a filter, so I was just shooting through all the light pollution in my town. But once I did get a light pollution filter, we were starting to get some images, and this was like the first little bit of processing that I did as well. And I was like, this is awesome, I can start to see some nebula, because I couldn't before. And then obviously there were some more processing that occurred to actually try to get some details coming out of there. Thank you, Brooks, appreciate that. I do like that I have some, that there is a progression to the images. But something like this with, what was he using? That was just using this camera that I'm using right now on the Star Adventurer mount. And I've zoomed, this is a heavily cropped image there. But I think if it is something you're kind of testing the waters to see how it feels doing imaging, then if you want to go super wide field and get some of the larger galaxies, a Star Adventurer can work out really well for you there. The most used mount in astrophotography is an equatorial mount. The one I'm using, which is also the one that AstroJab is using, it falls into a certain sweet spot. As of course you're thinking right off the bat to acquire a telescope. It all comes down to, like I said, you got about a $3,000 budget. Now, I don't know if that would include... That's also including like a camera and things like that? You can get like cheap... You can get some used DSLR cameras for a fairly decent price. A lot of the astronomy cameras still hold their value, even at like after... in like the used market. So that's always a bit of a tough one to try to acquire. Now, the camera that I'm using was a demo model, so I did get a couple £100 off of that. And I love this camera, and I would pay full price if I was going to get another one. I think it's absolutely worth every penny for sure. But it's if you're going to be doing astrophotography, you want to stick with an equatorial mount. Going for an alt-az mount, such as the there we go, like the Celestron 127 SLT. It's great for observing. It's good that even this telescope is wonderful for bright targets. Something like this would just purely go for just for visual. Otherwise, you can have a bit of a headache trying to do photography with it, unless it is a bright object, like I said, like the moon or or globular clusters that don't need as much integration time. I also kind of miss the solar filter. I need to really source out an affordable solar scope, because we've been talking about that. Now that we're in the shorter winter months, it's not as crucial to kind of have that at the moment, because there's a very slim window of viewing time. And right now, where the sun lies and where the telescope sits, they are almost incompatible at the moment for looking at the southern skies. But that'll be we'll change that up a bit there as some of the streams progress. We're going to be moving the telescope to different areas in the yard to see if we can get some different targets. Right now, like I said, it's on top of the deck. It's stable. It's off the ground. It is away from me hanging out down there. And the first night, this is why I have it on this deck. The first night I was doing any type of rough astrophotography, I was outside. I was actually down on the level where the camera is right now, and I could hear coyotes off in the distance. And I went back inside pretty quick. And I'm thinking, nope, everything's on the deck for now. Everything's on the deck until I can get things all sorted out. Because I don't need to be trying to shoot some amazing image of the Milky Way and then having to battle some coyotes to maintain my dominance for sitting outside and taking images of outer space. So it's on the deck for now, but we'll relocate it for as other targets are as we move into galaxy season. There's going to be some areas that we want to try to hit the southern area as much as possible to get any Milky Way targets. Other than that, for the most part, we're looking out towards interstellar space, and we're going to be going galaxy hunting for sure. But for now, any targets that we're going to be going after, there are going to be some wonderful nebulae. And it's now we did our process. Actually, I haven't even posted the image that we did last week of the Christmas tree cluster. I did discover afterward I was using a JPEG to do some image editing for this, and afterward, pardon me, for being a little more scrutinizing of my image, I was thinking maybe it needs one more reprocess on the Christmas tree cluster. So we'll probably not come back to that one on stream again. Maybe we'll see. I might do a bit of a processing there. The Bested 21. What's going on, Bestie? How are you? This one, I was really happy with this. This is like one of the first long-term exposure images that we've done in the new area. Now, I haven't edited the tadpoles, but I want to say that it may not. I don't know if it's going to be as wonderful as the Christmas tree cluster, but I was really happy with how this one turned out. And again, just capturing the reds of the hydrogen alpha signal, and the blue of the reflection nebula within this target is, I want to say it is a testament to how little light pollution there is, that we're starting to get these details. Many times that we've had from the other areas I was shooting in, it was in higher light polluted areas, so reflection nebulae didn't really come through in the images because it was getting washed out. Dunstable Ramsey, what's going on, Ramsey? How are you? Now, I tried to keep the colors as I'm shooting it with a color camera, so everything, the wavelengths of light that are hitting and penetrating the sensor and landing on, getting through the filter and landing on our sensor is basically the wavelength of light that we're seeing. So trying to keep things as, I'm not using a false color or a modified color palette to try to bring out different details. What's up, Tien? Just opened my eyes to see if you're there. Early night here. Happy to see you're starting a new stream in Canada. Did you miss much? Tonight? Well, we're always talking about astrophotography and a little bit of food. You know how the regular score is there. But good to see you again. Wonderful to see you. Brooks! Thank you. Thank you very much. For the gifted sub to Dunstable Ramsey. Boom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that very much for the gifted sub. On to the spike of appreciation for you. And no, we still got plenty of coffee. We still got plenty of coffee in the cup there. But glad to have you in. Glad to have you in here. And like I was saying, last night we had our
Astro Canuck, you will find 1 credit for violation of the Verbal Morality Statute.
Last night we had our how about the cheese? We want some cheese, Gromit. Okay. Alright. Every 50 bits, I almost knocked my coffee over. That could have been disastrous. Now, they still did not have, at the grocery store, they still did not have the, any crispy ghost pepper peanuts. So we're kind of making, I'm making the most of it here with the scorpion peppers and these little crispy treats. Now, this adds all the flavor. I feel like you're drifting off. You think you're going to go to sleep? Raven, no worries. Appreciate you popping on in. Yes, no, don't knock the coffee over. So adorable. Hello, my love. Hello, Cookie. The coffee is important. The coffee is life. Yes, Raven, have a very good evening. Thank you so much for coming on in tonight. Have a nice sleep, and we hope to see you again soon. All right, so yeah, the scorpion peppers.
Line forward. 40 feet down, 2.5. Picking up some dust. 4 forward, drifting to the right a little.
There was no
We copy
chance.
you down, Eagle.
I had no chance. All the clouds.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
I know it's not much of the black pepper that's in here, but there's just one more element of spiciness. Astro Dad, thank you very much for the 100 bits. They're tasty. They're wonderful. They're in no way am I associated with Moon Cheese crunchy cheese snack bites, but they're rather good. Nailed it. Swish. Yeah, that always. Greatest Canadian mustache of all time, Lanny McDonald. What a thing of beauty. Funny that you mentioned that. Dunstable Ramsey. Funny you're mentioning that because last night he was rated in our S tier for mustaches as we ranked some mustaches for Movember last night. I woke up at 2:30 in the morning to prepare the equipment. Luckily, had the day off. Otherwise, you'd be a zombie. Stayed up till 5:30 in the morning. But you know that's I mean, you know, astrophotography. You got to try to take those opportunities when you can. You were checking out the Twitter. That was a fun list to do. That was a fun list to do. And also an addendum to last night's stream. I did say that Jake the Snake is from Coldwater, Michigan. It's Stone Mountain, Georgia. That's just my personal editorial on that. Addendum on that. Because Why am I taking a drink of coffee? And let the scorpions burn for a bit there. But that was a fun one. So we're gonna do a little more of those in the future there. But so yeah, did you get some decent images there of the moon? Like I was hoping a few days prior to the stream, the weather was forecasting some decent skies, some possible decent skies for like early in the evening. So I was thinking that we could have maybe paired up a little bit of our charity stream with some astrophotography, and we would do our thing with everything else there. But unfortunately, the weather didn't want to cooperate. So we showed some older images, as we tend to do, because there's a growing catalog of what we have shot in the past across the Atlantic. And this is back in Canada for the first time when I actually got to see the Eagle Nebula. Was and you can just see, pardon me, you can see this is the amount of light pollution I'm dealing with. This gradient is just absolutely horrible compared to what we get now. Volcano Doc, hello. Oh, no, but you mean the nebula's pretty? Okay, fine. How are you doing tonight? How was the cooking? How was the procrastinating go? Was it wonderful? Was it delicious? We were talking about food earlier. Let's get back on the topic of food, shall we? Still going, but delicious. Wonderful. Wonderful. You were doing some pumpkin flavored bits and pieces, yes? I gotta say, pumpkin pie and coconut cream pie are like my absolute weakness. Like I would not turn down a pumpkin pie or a coconut cream pie at all. There's some moisture in the sky, but managed to capture a couple images there. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. It's such a wonderful deep red, And I said, like, the last time that I was imaging a lunar eclipse was back in England, and it was the time when the meteor had struck the moon. My photographs, my images, I was taking them. I wasn't using any video. I was just snapping the pictures with the camera, because I was using this camera and just the handheld remote. And I was in between that time frame of when the impact occurred. So I had an image 5 seconds before and then 5 seconds after. It was just like the best horrible timing ever. But I did like some of the shots. I actually never really did do any processing of of my lunar eclipse images there. But those are
9 forward.
Those are wonderful.
40 feet down, 2.5. Picking up some dust. 4 forward, drifting to the right a little.
There'll be a total lunar eclipse in May next year, if you're not mistaken. We can
Tranquility base here. The Eagle has
confirm
landed.
that.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
Why is it still coming up? Bing. Bing. Why? I keep telling Google. No. Where is the? There's a time and date version that will give you a map so you can actually see where it's going to be. There we go. Let's see. We want lunar. May 16, 2022 for a total lunar eclipse. We are good. We're good for that one there. What's up, Tracker? What's going on? Okay, now I gotta find out why. I can click on it to turn on the heat map, but for some reason, if you guys are redeeming it, it's still not working. Let's go and quickly check that out. Edit commands. Change source visibility. No, that should be. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Is it the Twitch trigger? What is that? No, that should be. That should be fine. I find that weird that that doesn't work for you guys at the moment. But yeah, it is that feature is in place for whenever there is something that we're looking on screen. You guys should be able to click on that button, and then you can click on your monitor. If you're on a PC, it's a little easier to use, and you can kind of just click anywhere, and then we can see what it is you're looking at, and then if we if we want to see more there. But what I'm really looking forward to, is this one here, April 8th, 2024, for a total solar eclipse that is going to basically pass right through my area. Actually, the area of path of totality. Path of totality is a little more geared toward southern Ontario. So I will need to take a little bit of a drive to get into the path of totality. Just visiting from planet Omicron Persei 4 to place resub. Well, maybe you come from Omicron Persei 8. I'm Lur. I think you'll be traveling to the US for that solar eclipse, or maybe Canada. Maybe. See, because I'm a little farther. I'm in 100%. But it is, we want to be in the path of totality. We want that longest possible view. So really, if there's going to be some clear skies anywhere around here, we're going for it. We're going to go for that. Yeah, I hope all's going well there, Tracker. Good to see you in here. So we will, we'll keep our calendars open for that. Actually, the next calendar event that we have happening for the stream is going to be the launch of the telescope that shall not be named, in fear of kind of decreasing or increasing its launch date. It is scheduled for the 18th of December at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will all hopefully bear witness to a complete launch and deploy of this telescope, because we have been memeing about it for forever, and we've been really anticipating the launch of the Webb, James telescope, space. Is that a good enough workaround? Can we, or is it just the fact of saying those in any form there? Actually, one thing I did want to add on here was a little floating telescope. Although it's this is just in practice only. This is in practice only. Where did I put it? Oh boy, it's eluded me. It's eluded me. Where did it go? Oh, great, I've lost it. Well, if that better not be any kind of indication there. We want single female lawyer you captured. We want to know how it ends. Am I talking about James Bonda? Is that what we're calling it? That we're gonna say? Just be aware not to type JWST. It'll be fine. Dude, my hands are huge. There's something in that hippie. Oh, I said it!
Oh, don't say that word.
Oh, I typed it too. I typed it too. Oh. It gets covered up. Hey, why did it not go back? Uh-oh. It's still there. Did You're going for that, eh? All right, so there's other things I do. I do need to migrate over from Leorn board to StreamerBot, because the one thing that that mustache, the Mobro redemption, is there are 6 different mustaches that could pop up when that is redeemed, and that was easier to put together than it was with my Xbox achievement, where you guys have that like 1 in 10
By the
chance.
power of Grayskull, I have the mustache.
Ooh. Bit of a hearty mustache. So we'll kind of go with this voice. You barely see my lips moving. But that's what it'll go for. Anyway, this was much easier to make in StreamerBot, because something like with the Xbox achievement, that was difficult to create or have the random act to occur. Whereas this one, it was easy. It was so easy to place a random action. So, you know, I favor for anybody who does the streams that you want to be able to use. I mean, you know, saying StreamerBot is much more user friendly, with easier commands to utilize there, especially for things that may seem simple but are seeming a little more complicated with other streaming assisted programs there. All right, let's see what where is the data that we have here. The data that we have for the we have NGC 1893. Where did I pick that one? No, am I not pressing F3? There we go. NGC. It's pointed at the letter Y cluster. I figured that was like nice and central to the Tadpole Nebula. So let's see how much data we have in this target here. So we'll send this over to Deep Sky Stacker. Old balls, what's up, pops? Hello, hello, hello. Boop, let's go. Okay, so people have been clicking on my nose when this is on. What's going on? What's going on, pops? How's your night? Are you watching any hockey? Because I sure as heck ain't at the moment. Although I guess I could. I guess that could be a trial. Put on the game. See if it'll run while the stream's going. Hi. So yes, old balls. Last night, I want to say that I'm proud to say that this community and this we helped my brother raise $490 last night, and it's total donations across Twitch and across the his directly to his Movember page, and I'm so happy that we were able to help push him past his goal for this year and like crush it as well. And just in support of for Movember and men's health and well-being and mental health, and we're happy to be able to do that and help out people who are in need, who need this help. And like I said before, it has come to the forefront for this because we're right alongside with our dad while he is working through cancer, and we just want to see, we want to see everybody home and safe and is back in as good of health as possible. Really, 2-0 Pittsburgh. Oh, come on, Pittsburgh. Wait, did I pick it? I didn't do any picks. I didn't do any hockey picks for tonight. That's the wonderful thing about Tim Hortons, is that you can pick 3 hockey players and maybe win some points and score a free coffee. But I still have the late games I could pick up. You missed most of the stream, sadly. Unexpectedly passed out and fell asleep. Well, apparently I have that effect on people. Y'all keep falling asleep to my voice here. No, but it's the fact, seeing people just kind of pop in saying hello, it is, it meant a lot to us. And it was my brother's first time on Twitch, and he loved it. He was flying high afterward, just all them soothing tones. Although unless I forget that I have like the voice mod on and they're no longer soothing tones.
And these tones are not what we want to hear.
What's this? This one? I don't know.
Hello? What does this one do? Oh, okay. Well, I guess if we have something like this on, then it's not gonna be the soothing, dulcet tones.
Like Tom Jones, but with a beard and not Welsh. Have you heard? There's a video that someone put out, or just an audio clip of Tom Jones coughing, and it is like the most melodic cough ever. It was incredible. All right, I'm going to pick. I want to see Kyle Turris score a goal tonight for Edmonton. All right, so one of you chumps win me a coffee, please. Yes, the only other similarity that's lacking is that his last name doesn't match mine. But again, last night was fantastic. Had an absolute blast with it. And coming out the heels of that, we're gonna keep our emotes that have the mustaches on them for the remainder of the month. I had a lot of fun making them. And just figuring out where to put a mustache on the Heart Nebula was a bit of a task there. But we also have 4 new emotes added onto to the stream as well. And hopefully in the next week or so, we will have the slots available for a couple animated emotes, which would be kind of fun to throw in there. see what we can do on this. But yes, we'll take a look at the data set that we have for this target. We'll bring all those in here. Now these are all 5-minute exposures. And what do we got? Do I have any? I don't have any 5-minute dark frames, so these are going to have some hot pixels in there. But usually the first shot of the night is where I want things framed up, and generally it is the kind of the better quality image that we want to work with to pick our target. And as long as all the stars are nice and round and pinpoint, then I'm happy to make that our reference frame. So these 3 stars up here, are part of the Flaming Star Nebula. That is not the Flaming Star Nebula. That is the Eagle Nebula. There you go. That's those 3 stars there. So you can see just how close the tadpoles are to that target. And also how wide, this wide field of view that we have for this nebula. And we're going to stack the best 95% of these pictures. Actually, we're going to, because I'm confident, like, there is a very good proportion of good frames in here. I'm going to go for the 98% of the stars. 184 stars, that's good enough for them to calculate there. Now the important thing is, where are these files going? We want them in the ASI Air images, and we're going to make a new folder, and we'll say it is NGC 1894, but it says like the Y cluster, but I still say the tadpoles. Although I guess if I want to get really technical, let's actually label it as IC410. Oh, sugar lumps. All right, there is our target. So we know where that file is going to go. Oh wait, that's a temporary file folder. Oh, cancel all that. Temporary file folder. We want it in the output. IC410. There we go. IC Wiener. Oh, come on, man. All right. Following folders are read-only. Well. Okay. What happened here? Alex Vixen, hello. Hello, how are you? Welcome in. We are... Why am I having this error messages popping up? Stacking parameters, temporary file folders. No, we just want that in. We don't want that in there. Oh dear, I may have hit the wrong button here. Oh dear. Wait. That's Oh fiddlesticks. Oh, so we want the what? Oh dear. Okay, there. That one. Yes, I am. Oh, peas and rice. The following folders are read only. Well, yes, I'm not trying to get it to write there. NGC 1890s. Holy potatoes. All right, so no, let's close all that. Cancel all that. Welcome in. Good to see you in here. We are now playing troubleshooting with Deep Sky Stacker. We're troubleshooting with Deep Sky Stacker here. Let's see if we can get this all sorted out and throw these files in there. Oh, I know why. Oh, silly me. Okay. I need to copy that, and now when my brain is working, I'll drop these into the ASIR folder. Here's another test. Let's see how clogging up the network by uploading photos from the ASI Air, uploading it from this little guy here to the computer. We'll see how that goes. Fluffs. Well, welcome in, everybody. My name is Tom. I am the Astro Canuck, and what we're doing tonight, we're doing a little image processing on the Tadpoles, or the Tadpole Nebula, also known as IC410. Now, just waiting for these files to transfer over, and that'll be ready in about 45 seconds because I'm just running it through the network right now. But we have been taking some multiple images of the Tadpole Nebula, and these are 5-minute exposures. So we got 500 minutes on this target right now. And we're going to stack the 98% of the best images there, and we'll see how that's going to turn out. Hopefully something interesting. We'll run through a bit of a quick process on how this isn't the exact way how you would process an image there. You didn't know TJ was knighted. Who's TJ? What's TJ stand for? TJ stand for turkey. Oh, Tom Jones. Yeah, you have you get a wonderful singing voice, and they're gonna make you a knight. Hill Wagner. Hello. If I'm like totally saying it right or wrong, or is it just Wagner? Or Hill Wagner. Oh boy. Welcome in. Thank you very much for the follow. Wonderful to have you in here today. Appreciate it. We are doing a little image processing, and I am relocating where I left my files. No, seriously, it stands for, doesn't it? Right? IC410. Where did I put that file? No, it was NGC 1893. That's what it was. Let's put that file in the tadpoles. And let's get these images in there and stacking. See what kind of detail we can see with this target. Light frames, 100 light frames. So we're going to stack the best. We're going to throw away 2 frames overall for this. Which I don't know if that's if that's going to be enough. Then who's TJ Hooker? Well, it's Turkey Hooker. That's what it is. What is that? That's Hawaii 5-0, right? Or is it Chips? No, Chips is Punch.
The name's Hooker. Officer TJ Hooker.
Alright, I'm saying that this one is... These are decent stars in here. Because as are... Actually, no, the... I did dithering every four images. Oh, sorry. We're on the wrong thing here. name a TV show and you get auto mod. I know, right? That's the... That's his name. That's his name. Alright, looks like there might be actually a few with a little less than optimal stars. So let's do this again. Let's edit our stacking parameters, and we're going to I'm gonna do the best 90. I'm gonna go back to 95. Best 94. We'll do the best 95 images there. That one's all right. Yes, Shatner was T.J. Hooker. So why can't I remember the name of the show? Because my brain has gone elsewhere. That's why. That is why. That was the name of the show? It was T.J. Hooker? Alright, then I'm way off of my TV. Okay, there we go. Alright, holy potatoes. 8 hours and 20 minutes on this target. I didn't realize I had that much time on it. Here I was thinking with like the Christmas tree cluster, we had like 6 hours on there. No, sorry. I upped that to 10 hours. So 8 hours and 20 minutes. No darks, no flats, no bias, because we don't do any of that. Yeah, that's the name you used to watch it with your mom. Then why was it? I guess I was thinking more of... You know what? I was way off with my memeing. I need a little refresher there. All right, it's gonna register these pictures. It should stack things up pretty quick. And I actually, when you forget to actually mark your reference frame, it's just gonna pick any one. Hopefully, whatever one is gonna be. It's gonna actually look the best out of all that there. Now, normally, if this was a YouTube video, I'd be like, boop, and everything would be stacked. But we're all going to sit through this stacking process. We're all going to watch the computer stack and register each individual image. Hopefully it won't take too long. In there. We can get a look at another image there, but let's get Photoshop open. Get that ready to go. And let's just open a whole bunch of programs while we're streaming, right? Let's push the computer. Get it all good and warmed up there. But rest assured, I also want to preface this, as always with my image processing. This is a way how to process astro images. It is by no means a clinic and the way to create your astro image. I mean, for the most part, I am happy with the, excuse me? Oh, okay. So, no, wait, there we go. It's still doing some more. Oh, I'm thinking, why didn't it work there? I have yet to do any of those targets. I've yet to try to even image a comet or an asteroid. Now I did take a 10-minute exposure on Ceres, and I didn't see any movement. I didn't see any. It was so dim, even with like my large telescope. I was also in a higher light polluted area, but there are some comets. There are a couple of comets right now that are getting much brighter. So next time we have some clear skies, we are going to we're going to go for a comet and see what details we can get out of there, because we have live stacking capabilities. Now, the only thing that might be a little different is I don't know if the live stack will track a comet, because it will track across the area of the sky noticeably as you're imaging. So, and it's also going to be moving much faster in relation to the background stars. I don't know if the ASI Air Plus will accommodate that. So that'll be a thing to check out. Or even if we just do like a 5-minute exposure and just start to see maybe the bit of the nucleus of the comet starting to show through. That will also, I will mostly put in a different filter there. Aim to pick up a UV IR cut filter, because being in like so little light pollution, we could probably get away with as minimal of a filter as possible. There used to be a streamer who did that and would upload to NASA. I can't think of his name. There's a few people who are doing astrophotography. There's Econ Greg. Asteroid Hunters is a father-son pair who are genuinely hunting asteroids. That is what they're doing. So their job is baked right into the name. Mine is more of a descriptor. But it's we haven't really tried to look for asteroids or comets, but because there's so little light pollution, I think we can go for trying to capture a comet. We'll aim to do that, I think, with the larger telescope, but the next kind of main project that's coming up is to do some broadband imaging with the for the Christmas tree cluster, to add a little bit of pure RGB into that rather than just shooting the narrow band. All right, there's our stack now of the. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen them on as well. They're more active on YouTube and social media than with Twitch. I guess for what they're doing, it's not that there's a little more work that kind of goes into gathering the data that maybe doesn't lend itself well to live streaming everything. And not to say that what this is incredibly remarkable, but like I said, I'm just kind of showing you guys what we can see, and it looks like everybody's nice and round stars, some nice binary stars in this area. So let's open this up in the Photoshop. If I remember right with the file. It's always important. Where did it go? Ruh-roh. What? Documents, ASI images, IC410. Documents, ASI area images, IC410. As Photoshop. Okie doke. Alright, what's happened here? Something has occurred. Seriously, where did it go? What part of saving my image? Yes, we did. Nafru, my image has fallen into a black hole. Now, hang on a second. It's in the wrong file. What? Of course it's in the wrong file. Nafru, how are you? We have discovered the image processing black hole, and it is putting it in the wrong folder. Because that's exactly what we do here. That's exactly what we do. I autosave 002. There we go. Okay, I see 410, the tadpoles. We'll try to pull some data out of here. See what we can get. This is in my new backyard. Oh, okay. Pardon me, a little bit of the hot peppers from earlier kind of creeping back. But welcome into the stream, everybody. We are doing some image processing on a nebulous target known as the Tadpoles in the constellation of Auriga. This whole nebulous target is about 2,100 light years away, and it is paired up with the Flaming Star Nebula that we have imaged in the past. But I wanted to go after a target that I really haven't imaged in great detail before. You found a black hole in your wedding ring. Now, is this like I don't know, I was gonna say like a financial black hole? Because I would say my financial black hole is Lego and telescope shops. But we'll see what we can see. Astro Hunter has some crazy amount of computer power. Yeah, well they're running in like in teraflops. They're collecting so much data. Running through that it's like that's some genuine, observational science that they're doing. Here I am showing you guys some awesome pictures of outer space, and we're yammering on about it. And the occasional time we'll catch a meteor that flies through our screen there, but other than that, it's some pretty, I see some standard practices that we do here. And they also have a 36-inch RASA as well, so that's gathering all the light for sure. You're getting all the I'm going to, just because there really isn't much vignetting, but I'll run Gradient Exterminator anyway, and we'll do just usually do medium detail, and that's just going to help even out the image overall. And now, I think this might be still a little too early to possibly set the gray point on here, because we really can't see what is a nebulous area and what is kind of like a what's going to even out the color there. So I'm gonna cancel that. We'll run the next step and make it our 16-bit channel, so we can do some more changes. I am hazarding to guess that our arc sign has disappeared. Yes, it has. Now, I don't know why it's not safe. Photoshop is not saving these presets, and really, I wouldn't go anything more aggressive than 100. But I also want to gently pull the detail out of here. Okay, so what are we? What's clipping here? Oh, okay. It's just the just need to bring everything in a tiny bit. Just get rid of all the stacking artifacts from the dithering. Now, because it is a very wide field of view, the dithering isn't as predominant, and also the target has remained fairly central over the 2 nights. So that should, there we go. That gets that little extra dark line there. That was all the data from before. So there's quite a bit of detail that we should be able to pull out of here. And again, as gentle as possible. What I want to do, you don't want to get that histogram getting too large there. And then I would say from here, yeah, we're starting to get some really good detail. Do I want to go 10 or 30? I don't know. All right. This is for the sake of seeing something kind of start to come to life through these images here. And this is just over 8.5 hours worth of data, and I'm liking how this is looking. This is nice and smooth. This is really nice. I'm happy how that's looking there. So let's we'll pick a gray point on here. Pick a neutral area. Maybe clean up some of the although I would almost say for the most part where we're at right now with the levels actually probably wouldn't change much of that. So the whole idea is that we want to try to pull some of these details out. And if we even start to look at the separate channels, for the red mainly being for hydrogen alpha, we're starting to already see some pretty interesting structures within. And it's always that red channel you kind of want to start to punch up there. And I think we're doing like almost a bit of a Cole's notes on this one, because I want to try to I say just pull the data out of this and see what kind of, excuse me, where'd you go? What kind of details we can get in here, and how well the now I've noticed sometimes for some of these images, I'm going to run it again. I'm going to run the enhanced DSO and reduce stars one more time, because it's almost, I don't know what's happened with some of the images or the way how I've been stacking them, if that's changed at all, because it seems that I run the action twice, and these are Noel Carboni's astronomy tools, which is a great set of actions that will multiply several steps all at once. That usually would take a lot longer if you were doing it by yourself, and just kind of some of them. It's not like a one-click solution, but it does start to bring out some of those details a little better than it would in the past. So if we go from this instance of the curves, I'll say it's controlled the stars. It's actually brightened a few of them up in the background there, but I wouldn't say for that it's really making that background nebulosity come through. But let's kind of again pick that neutral area. I'm going to try and bring some of the color accuracy back. Now the PixInsight has a great tool. Actually, that one looks pretty good. As long as I start seeing the cyan stars turn white, once they start turning white, then I know I'm kind of hit that nice neutral area in along the histogram, so we're not really amplifying those blue stars. So they're kind of a little more subdued. Now, it's sometimes you want to do like I would go for like a local contrast enhancement, but I'm still, we're still getting some data coming through that we want to pull out, that we don't want to start. When you start sharpening things, you're really destroying the image, and you're only going to be amplifying everything that's ugly with the image. And with 8.5 hours on this target, but I haven't done any dark frames. I didn't do any flats. I haven't done any bias. It is just the straight data that has come out here with the light, with our light frames. And because the camera is cooled, is a cooled astronomy dedicated camera, we do cut down on a lot of the noise that comes through with digital imaging. However, you know, it doesn't always work in our favor. You know, we kind of work with what we got here. And like I said, by all means, this is not a how-to, but it's kind of like how I do astro image processing there. But welcome in, everybody. My name is Tom. I'm the Astro Canuck. And this is what we like to do here on this stream, is talking about astronomy, looking at images of outer space. Unfortunately, because we are clouded out, telescope is still under the cover up in that top left corner there. But usually when we have clear skies here in southwestern Ontario, we are doing our live astrophotography sessions. Today is our rainy day astronomy, so we do have data sets set up that we can work on there. And actually, while I'm talking about this, is I want to throw this data in our folder that we have on Discord for those who are subscribed to the channel, that you can download those folders, so you can download those stacked images, and you can do a little bit of processing if you want to share it on our Discord. We're always glad to have you pop them on there, and feel free to share it on Instagram or Twitter. Go ahead and tag me on that. I'm always loving to see what people are doing with the images that we take on here. And it's also really cool to see how people how they approach astro image processing different than other people. So there's always, you know, everybody starts somewhere. We all start somewhere with astro imaging. And, you know, I like to be able to show you guys something interesting. And if you're just kind of getting into astrophotography, it's always kind of fun to try out with some different data sets. And then if you're really just getting into things, you know, I'm always happy to help maybe point you in the right direction for what might be a decent image to, or you know, some decent advice, a little bit there, to tell you guys what's going on out there, because it's there's a lot of equipment and there's a lot of choices that you have for astrophotography. Actually, I apologize, I have to cancel that, because that is taking a while to upload, and I think it is because I am streaming, so I am taking up the lion's share, or the lion's share of the data there. Although, you know, I'm gonna let it go. Forget it. I'm gonna let it go, because I still want to test how well the internet holds up. Right now, it seems all right, so I'll let it go. It's going a little slow, but as long as the stream is running fine, then we're good with that. Wrong lever. Wrong lever. All right, I'll let that continue to upload there. And that will be available on our Discord for those who are subscribed to the channel. Yes, exactly. Yeah, don't hit that button and just absolutely up. No. We wanna keep things where they're at. Now I'm looking at this and I'm already seeing. Now that keep taking my eyes away from the screen, it's starting to look blue. Looks a little blue. So maybe want to. Not so much if we're doing a levels check, although we could still bring that data in a tiny bit. But maybe I want to. Is that? Oh, how does that look? Oh, I think that does look okay. That look a little better now. They're kind of taking the eyes away. That's not too bad. That's not. Just don't hit that nuke button. I don't think I have. I don't have a nuke button. Thankfully. Otherwise, it's like there's some bad stuff. We don't want to have those. Actually, I do have one button that is technically it's not so much a nuke, but don't hit the ending button. Don't go ending the stream early. Still 2-0. Oh, what period are they in? What is it? Well, they got to be through like the second, right? End of 2. Rolling into the third period. Leafs and Penguins. Leafs, Penguins, hockey tonight. All right, we've got 5 minutes left in the upload. Oh, yeah, there you go. See that. Our folder. So I want to try to some of these lighter areas of nebulosity. We want to start bringing that out. At the end of 2 periods, the Pittsburgh Penguins leading the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-0. I say we hack into Hubble Telly and use it to get past these pesky skies. Yes, get our own space. If nothing else, just get our own space telescope. Just get that working for us there. All right, so here's actually this is looking at the red channel. We can start to get a good indication of where actually some of those neutral areas might be, and there aren't that many. You can see just how much that hydrogen alpha signal is visible. And actually, I'm seeing this circle that I chose for our gradient exterminator, and actually I think it worked against me. Oh yeah, that's true. That is right. Hubble is down, possibly forever. This could be it. I hope not. Hope we have a proper chance to say farewell to Hubble. How's it going, Third Rock? What's the good word, sir? I think I always kind of really overthink things. Well, Hubble's successor should be the Webb Space James Telescope that will be launching on December 18th, which we'll all be watching that launch with bated breath. I think that was launching at 7 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, so we will be up. We'll be up super early for that one. Playing some Forza on this cloud and rainy day. How is that? Is it Forza 5? Because I have like Forza Horizon 4 or something like that. It came free with my Xbox. And I don't even think I played it. I think I downloaded a version, so I didn't open it up, so it's still in its original wrapping. Alright, this upload is actually starting to take up some of my bandwidth here. It's minorly suffering at the moment. Where are we at with that upload? 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left
don't say that word.
Of instability, though. It's well, they said that they're still going to be able to get some images that they can form out of the IR signal. Pardon me. But we'll 5. You got 4. You have 4. 4. Here's an instance of me not listening to myself. Forza, yes. I mean, I liked it, but then I guess I was playing more GTA than anything. And it was like, well, this isn't how you drive a car. You can't drive it. Well, actually, you kind of can drive it anywhere in Forza, but that's all you do. You can't get out of the car and interact with anybody. But it has also been a while since since I've actually played any games, which is we're due for a video game day, perhaps. But it's actually another day that we're due for is tomorrow for our Lazy Sunday Lego stream, and I have yet to inform / decide what set we're going to be working on tomorrow, because, like I said, we finished our lunar lander a week earlier than I anticipated. So we will have to pick another Lego set. I don't know if we'll do like something that should take a stream or not. Undecided on that one there. They do have next week there are some Black Friday sales on Lego, but from what I'm seeing and what I was looking to kind of get, it probably none of those sets would be included in the sale. And there's actually some pretty sweet gifts with purchase this weekend, so I'm gonna keep my eye out on that there. You like 5 better for one reason. The roads are easier to drift, more open, but 4 was set in England, so it's not surprising the roads are all tight. Those are some super tight roads in England too. They're like super tight. Excuse me. It's like when I moved back to Canada, it was like the roads were so luxurious. I'm thinking, I got way too much room here. There's way too much room on the roads. What are you people doing? Cram in, budge up. Let's get together here. But it's I did like actually that's one other game I haven't played in quite a while is Watch Dogs Legion, for just the sake that it's all in London. And I just had so many issues with that game where it kept crashing. I couldn't reliably play the game, which was getting annoying. I think I want to do, I don't know if I want to do one more curves adjustment before like the last stretch on here. Although, it's yeah, I can see that sugar lumps. That I don't know if doing this again is going to muck things up or what. Doing the gradient exterminator, because maybe doing it again is good. Maybe. Let's see what happens here. We still kind of have a bit of that ring there. Trying to pick the gray point might seem to be like a bit of a nightmare. We're starting to get we just bring it right up to there. Now, see, at this point, I'm gonna say that I would go back and restart, because I think that running that gradient exterminator at the beginning was a bit of a detriment, not knowing where potential vignetting actually was on here. But let's also we're gonna power through. That's what we're gonna do, and we'll do that by. Actually, let me see how is this looking. You can really get a feel for that gradient there, but I want to make that luminance layer there. And we will combine our our green channel with the red on here. Just a teeny tiny bit, like a very, very small amount. We combine that red and green channel. It just kind of smooths everything out. It helps out with the contrast a little bit, and we'll make this our luminance layer on here. Let's see what we can do to maybe start to I always like seeing what these other blending modes might do for the benefit of the image, but most of them turn out to be a bit of a detriment. Usually about like 40% kind of helps punch it up a little bit, but we don't want it. Again, I try to like just gently tease out the details out of here. You know, it's sometimes it can be more. Sometimes you get some of the images that I've captured, they've come together really well. Other times I am definitely going back multiple instances and trying out some different techniques. So I'm going to run the make stars smaller a little bit, and I think I've said this before. I'm trying to make the image come together as quickly as possible, just to kind of show you guys what we've shot, what we have available there. Now, while that is doing its thing, let me just check on our file here for the data, and that's complete. That is in the folder. I don't want to remove it. I want to rename it. Why are those buttons so close together? IC 410. Tadpoles, ASI 533, Skywatcher ED 72. All right, that is saved for those who are subscribed on the channel and in the Discord. That data, those stacks are available for you. I am working toward a little bit of a change on that as well. That I'm going to start having like the whole FITS files, the single images available for those who are subscribed, and then you guys can do whatever other magic you might be doing with different programs. That might be a different stack, and then for everybody else, we're going to have these stacked images available just to work with, and the only thing I ask in return is just say that you got it from Astro Canuck. So we'll have that in. I'll get that together in the, let's say possibly in the new year, to kind of get some files propagated in the folder there, so it isn't just like an empty folder for people. But it is this data set that we're working on right now, which is just around, what's Deep Sky Stacker say, 7 hours 55 minutes or 95 frames worth of this target. The winter, winter's more favorable because you're going to have a little more, better chance of a stable atmosphere. Although there's still a lot of moisture in the sky, that's going to impact your viewing. But there's less chance of like any heat radiating off of the ground, off of rooftops that are going to start to muck up with your images closer to the horizon. It's the longer nights. It's the longer nights that are able. You pick the right target in 2 evenings. You can have a boatload of data. You could have maybe like 10, 14 hours maybe on if you pick your target right over 2 nights. with the tadpoles, this was 2 separate nights. This was 2 evenings, and I had 8.5 hours. So it was it started nice and low on the east, and it just was, I was able to track throughout the whole night with this target. So now at this point, it would already be well enough above the horizon. And actually, where we got it, we are at this point in the evening, and it's basically going to track, even it's 2 in the morning. It's pretty much at the zenith. And for the most part, I have a clear view out southwest. It's basically just like low on the southern horizon where I've started missing out on some targets. But again, I'm going to move the scope to another location where we'll kind of lose a bit of the southwestern area, but we'll get back to the southern targets that we haven't been able to image. I would love to be able to shoot Thor's helmet. Love to get the Seagull Nebula. It actually fit really, really nice in this frame. We actually get a couple other clusters in there as well. So that is one target. Seagull Nebula is one that would be with the scope in the new position along with Thor's helmet. But if we were to shoot Thor's helmet with let's go to our RC8 and let's take off our reducer. And this is the field of view that we can get with Thor's helmet. Like, that is super close up. So as long as the ASI Air is going to plate solve and recognize where we're shooting there, if we can get a couple hours a night on this target, then I'm loving that, because I've had one image of Thor's helmet. I was shooting through trees, and it was just it wasn't a nightmare. It was great to capture that target, but it was such a limited opportunity, a limited window available. So if we can check out some other targets, that's starting to get a little too low on the horizon, perhaps. Actually, how do they track throughout the night? That's sitting low. We haven't been able to get the Helix Nebula, and I am pretty sure that we have missed that window for this season. So I'll have to try again next season. Although if we were shooting the Seagull Nebula with this field of view, that would be a crazy large mosaic for sure. But right now, Orion tracks above the roof throughout the whole night. So as soon as we finish our little project with the Christmas tree cluster, we're going to pick another target that would serve us well. Now, actually, what I might be doing is here's Hubble's Variable Nebula at 1600 millimeters, and I know with Astrobiscuit and the Big Amateur Telescope, the BAT, which is a fabulous acronym, we'll try to add some data with that target if it is available while they're still sourcing some image data on that target there. If not, then we'll keep an eye out for what the next big project is going to be with the Big Amateur Telescope, and see if we can get some awesome shots there, and do a little bit of a contribution to the project. All right, I'm gonna run that one more time, because I think I think at this point I want to go back on this target. Like if I start making the stars any smaller, it's not that they're going to disappear, but actually it's not looking too bad right now. The way it works, once approved to the bat, you can submit your own target, then you just need 4 others to image it with you. Okay, all right. See, I like what they're doing with Hubble's variable nebula. Again, it's one of those smaller targets that doesn't always get a lot of the attention. All right. Am I going to risk it one more time? Yeah. Yeah, let's try. I can always undo that. It really comes down to how it's affected, how it's impacted with the red channel for the stars, because then I can start to get these weird little halos around there. So Real, aka Astrophotography on Twitch, has been killing the processing on it. I've yet to see a great deal of that there. I spoke with oh my goodness, it was months ago that I spoke with Rory, and it just our schedules never matched up. I talked about kind of getting in on some things with him, and it was like in the middle of moving. So I figured I want to get in and add some data on the bat, just kind of start to collaborate with more people, and just there's always going to be different processes that people are going to do. Like I said before, everything that I'm doing here, this is not the exact way how you would genuinely maybe do an astro image. Like it works for me, and I would say actually it's not too bad, but the red stars are holding up fairly well. But it's, there's other ways how people can go about editing their images and highlighting certain areas. Let's see. What are we clipping here? Got something that is being clipped. How far in? If it's the corners, if it's just the corners, then I will accept that. Let's see. I want to keep those areas darker. I want to bring up these highlights. And let's see, is that too much? Is that all right? Some of the stars are. See, this is where if I start to make the stars smaller, it would muck things up there, but again, I can really see where the gradient exterminator mucked things up. I'm not happy with that. I am happy with the data. Like 8 hours on this target, and I'm liking how this has turned out. And I already feel like I'm going a little too aggressive on things, and all these. I've made too much of a mess of things here. I think at this point I'm going to start to get those little black halos around the stars and it's going to start looking. I'm going to start reducing stars that aren't stars. They're just going to be pixels on there. But you know what? Let's go to the extreme on this one. Let's start to reduce these stars until I figure that they are absolutely unshrinkable. And maybe even do one more run of reduce stars and enhance DSO. Or enhance the DSO and reduce stars. Run that one more time. Actually, a good check is to see how, yeah, that red channel is starting to get really messy. It's starting to become a bit of a mess. Although that's what denoise AI should be for, right? Try to tidy things up a little bit. I mean, it's not looking. I say that it's starting to look that I'm not happy with it, but this is how things go in my head. You know, it's not always perfect. Sometimes I feel like I've that's not to say that I've struck gold or anything like that, but some data does turn out a little better than others sometimes. But I think if I was to yeah, you can just see that whole vignetting that I've created. I've created this whole vignetting on here. I'd want to go back and basically redo a lot of the processing. Yeah, even throwing that luminous layer back on there to try to highlight some things. It's really going to start amplifying some of the noise in there, which is not what I want. We want to be able to keep things nice and smooth. If we did darks and some flats and really tried to get all our subframes in there, then it would be maybe a little easier to work with. But also depends if I'm shooting a target that's a little dim, then it doesn't always work out that well. But I would say I'll continue with some of the things on it, with some of the colors on here. Bring out a little more detail. Actually, if I start to, I see we can continue to bring in some of the data a bit. Oh, no, we can't because I'm on the wrong layer. I'm thinking, wow. Okay, now see, look, there is clipping. I've created this this clip around the edges, and maybe if I were to crop it in a tiny bit. Could we lose some of that? No. There is some damage to this image. But again, just a few steps. Now the astronomy tools. What did I pay? I think I paid maybe was it $40 or $50 there? I don't know. That still creeps me out. What's going on, Lily? How are you? Good to see you in here. Hope your Saturday is going well. What do we have here? Oh my goodness, AstroJav. I apologize. I told you I was so preoccupied with the fact that I was eating some hot pepper bites. A very, very belated 19. Oh my goodness. A belated appreciation for the 100 bits. Thank you so much. Are you good eating and jumping back into Halo? Are you playing Halo Infinite? How is that? Or is it just regular Halo? I loved the multiplayer in Halo. It was fantastic. And then playing the 4-player split screen with friends was a little bit of a different strategy, especially when you're all in the same room together. So if you if you kind of end up each other off, it is easier to hit your friend right there. It's so good, eh? You can download it for free, right? And it's just other little things that you can pay for to upgrade in the game, or is it pay for the whole thing there? But is it? I would imagine a lot of people are saying it is totally worth it. The multiplayer is free, but it's the campaign. See, I haven't even played Halo 5. I have Halo 5 still in its original wrapping as well. That came with the Xbox One. I still haven't played through that. I haven't even played through 4, to be fair. I maybe 2 missions into the 4th Halo. So there is a backlog. I have a backlog of images for sure. I have a backlog of images too, but I have a backlog of video games as well. And it also comes with Game Pass. Oh, I think I still have the Game Pass. I think we're still good on that. All right, I want to keep this area low, and like I said, highlight the tadpoles in here. You haven't played Halo since Halo Combat Evolved. Ooh, that was almost transformative for me, playing the very first Halo, and then coming back to the Anniversary Edition and having it look so much better. What's going on, Death? How are you? How are you doing tonight? How's your evening going? Good to see you. All right. This is funny, changing this one. Highlighting this really starts to... I don't want to move it too much, but I'm liking how we're getting this detail coming through there. And I'm just focusing on the center of the nebula now, because this wide field image is totally... I've mucked up everything else around this. So we're basically just... Not basically. We are focusing on the center of this image, where a lot of the interesting nebulae is. So it is just that this was a little tip that I picked up a while back from Astro Backyard's videos, where you are selecting 2 points on your histogram, so you're only highlighting certain colors in there, certain areas. And actually, I wonder, let me try one more thing here. Let's try one more thing. I don't know if it's going to work. I doubt it's going to work. We'll give it a go. I just got a whole catalog of whiskey in the mail. I guess it's a popular gift idea. It is. I would imagine that would go down a treat in this office. Alright, so I've never tried doing this before. I don't know how well that's actually working. I mean, I'm getting the highlights in here. I'm getting these areas lifted up. It's not too bad. I don't think it's anything revolutionary. But you know what? It's getting the job done there. So I'm going to duplicate that one. We're going to throw that into Denoise AI. See if we can get rid of some of this and combine it with our other image here. See how... no, we're not going to download that. Downloading makes the stream angry. We don't want to do that. We want to have a decent image. Oh, that forms little constellations. That is way too aggressive. That is way too. Actually, those were the settings I think I had for the previous image. No, that's not right. Let's check out these settings. Oh, actually, have I? Oh, I have our. Oh boy. Now, at some point, I have really mucked things up. Now, some of these stars are actually starting to connect, which is not what we wanted at all. Can I go back to a time in history when that string layers off and on? It's not going to work. Now, even then, we're starting to get into some noisy parts here. Well, this is half decent data. I am happy with the data that's been collected, and I will definitely be going back and restarting this image. I wouldn't say for sure that this is going to be a shareable one. And like I said, I've said this before, that every nebula is going to have its own little nuance to it. And I know exactly where I mucked up with things. And that was when I already tried to create a vignetting mask. No, there isn't a void. There isn't a. Let's see if I could turn back time. Does that work? Is that better? Does that help out? I would have processed this image way better. That's for sure. But, you know, it's let's boost the star color one more time so we kind of bring us. I'm happy with how the stars have maintained their color. Sometimes things get out of hand. I think I gotta, when I'm going back, it's treating those stars as early on as possible, so we're not kind of magnifying and amplifying any of the issues in there. And really, you know what I want to do? I want to check out what other people are doing for star masks, and how well that works for them. Although I think I can select, you can select brighter stars on here. You can kind of create a bit of do a bit of a star mask, but it is some of the brighter stars, and we've really mucked things up for the most part. Although I could say mucked, and it's actually, instead of saying, we're saying mucked. We're not saying fucked. I still gotta work on that. Still gotta work on that as well. But always wonderful to have you guys in here on a Saturday evening. Doing a little bit of image processing tonight. But I would need to go back and start this one. Definitely start this over again. I lost control of my stars. I lost control of all the stars there. However, with about 8.5 hours worth of data, actually thinking back, cutting out even 5 frames, that's getting rid of like 25 minutes of data. Hopefully you got rid of all the ugly data, like some of the football shaped stars, if there's any tracking errors. So I was doing 5-minute exposures. But let's go to at 100%. At 100%, I think overall things were looking pretty decent. If I was to take this section into camera raw. And even just actually overall the color balance isn't too bad. The white balance, how does that it wants to do that, eh? That's no. Let's go back to as shot. I'm liking how that color works. But if we just do a little bit of the details in there and get rid of some of the color noise and use this layer. And because there's actually very nice data in there, you can kind of punch up a bit of the noise reduction on here, and it doesn't look absolutely garbo. In fact, it actually kind of softens it up a bit. If we were to zoom out to like the quality of Instagram or something like that. If I was to even let's crop it to where I know it looks half decent. We'll keep it. I like to keep it in the square aspect ratio solely for the sake of essentially advertising the camera, our ASI 533 MC Pro, because it has that square sensor, and I really do not have any regrets on getting the square sensor. I know I was very hesitant at first because the way how it was a square sensor. Our lives are widescreen, and they've been widescreen for, oh boy, they're like the better part of like 25, 30 years now, really. So kind of almost taking a step back to like the square TVs that many of us would have had. It just didn't feel. I was worried it wasn't going to feel right. But I honestly have had I can't say any complaints about the camera that I've been using, to the point that I would pay for another one and have that as our secondary rig of shooting some different targets or shooting the same target at different focal length. Just really start to combine these images and pull out some more interesting detail. Let me zoom in on this. See if I can line things up with no, we don't want to close BlueStacks. So I want to close this one. I want to go over to one of our images. No, not screenshots. Of the tadpoles from a little while back, and from England, with the RC scope. Now again, it's a totally different view on this one because this is a single exposure. But then we're dealing with like multiple hours worth of exposures there. You're thinking of purchasing the ASI 533 as well. Had the 294 for 3 years. Probably time to retire it. Okay, are there any issues with the 294, or would you like to upgrade to the 533? I would say the only thing that kind of stopped me from I was quite literally 294 or the 533. And it was honestly down to the two. The biggest thing that swayed me for the 533 was 0 amp glow, and the fact that I was getting a little bit of money off because it was a demo model, and that's what swayed me in the end. Now, obviously with the 294, if you're being very good and you're taking your darks, you can get rid of that amp glow in the 294. You also have the kind of the 4:3 aspect ratio. So if there's nothing wrong with it, but also it's you've been 3 years with an Astrocam, you want to try out something different. I would say it's an opportunity to just try something at a different different pixel scale, or a different like that square aspect ratio. You know, it's I would 100% I'm going to recommend the 533 over the 294. Like I could have gone either way with those cameras, but again, it's the lack of the amp glow. If I'm really going to cut it down to either or, the 533 for me is going to win, because I will look at a single exposure and there is nothing else in that image that's going to show up there. So for what I'm doing for this, where we're sharing our live images, I see the great benefit with no amp glow. In the sense of doing astrophotography, you can do a stack of all your images. You know, I have the 8 hours on here, so it is possible there. In our, you can download the data in the Discord in the subscriber section down there, and you can play around with this data. I have probably maybe 10 different files in there, maybe right now. Yeah, 11. We had 11 files from the 533 in that folder, plus one set of fits files in there. So if you want to, you feel free to jump in that channel there. You can check those out. The only issue had the sensor condensation. You used to disconnect randomly, but both you were able to repair somewhat. The disconnection issue, I think, was a bad cable, but for sensor condensation, you occasionally recharge the internal desiccant tabs. I'm also all for buying new stuff. So you buy the 533. I cannot say, aside from any kind of manufacturer's defect that might happen. I know some people get like the grease or the oil kind of coming down on the sensor on the window, which is more for I think a lot of people just have that with the 2600. I said it before earlier tonight. I would pay full price for the 533 again to have a second camera, a second setup, identical to what we're using, double up on our data. I can't see moving to the 2600 or the full frame cameras right now, because that's just not in my budget. And also, what I want to be able to do, 2600 6200 problem, not on the 533. And it's just, little things like that would really annoy me. And I like to be able to plug and play, essentially. And I would like to think that other people might have that kind of mentality when they want to be doing astrophotography. Others like to tinker as well. If you're happy to tinker with your devices, then yeah, go for it. So in a way, I don't want to go on the higher end of prices on things, and that is just because I like to keep budgets realistic on my end of things. That's just a me thing. But also that some people, this is also like their maximum budget on things. So if that's what I can show you guys and kind of talk about some of the previous experiences I've had with like some of the other lower priced bits of gear, which again, same thing as I would get another 533. I would like to get another Star Adventure and have that set up, because I have a couple spare DSLRs kicking around. And I think a lot of people say, like, once you kind of get in there, cleaning the sensor isn't that bad. And I think it's kind of the same thing with a lot of things. But there's a certain level of maintenance that I want to that I'm comfortable with, and everything else is just send it to somebody who's done it before, someone who knows exactly what they're doing. And also the mindset is, if someone else is doing the repairs and they muck it up, then it is on them to replace it. If I crack my glass or something like that, then it's all on me. Then it's like the whole feels feeling bad the whole time there until something's replaced. Leafs lost 2-0. I didn't have Penguins goalie. I didn't have him on my list. They claimed they corrected the issue with the cameras made after July this year. So what it was like, just like something was sealed incorrectly in the camera, or like how was that there? But in 3 years, for example, you've had never had to clean the sensor. Probably a lemon batch of the 2600. Yes, it's the damaging of like the very sensitive, specific parts of the equipment, and it's like I would not want to inadvertently brick my camera in some way, shape, or form, or have to wait. See, the second I would do any maintenance on the camera and I have to wait for a replacement part to come in, that's when we have clear skies. That's when they all, and then as soon as everything comes back together, clouds. That's what'll happen. I know it. They put too much thermal paste on it, so it leaks out. I see. The 2600 does it have the built-in dew heater? Because I have bought actually a while back, actually when I got the whole dew heater system, I have a heater for the camera. But I really haven't had any issue with condensation, but it's also been like a year and a half. No, it hasn't been a year and a half. It's been like almost a year. So I haven't, I doubt that they're going to take that back, but it's brand new. It's actually, the main thing is that I couldn't get the the cable for the dew heater to connect up to the dew master, because the cable's too short. It's on like way at the other end of the telescope. So I haven't actually found, if anybody knows where I can get a dew heater extender cable, if it actually exists, if that's possible, so I can actually get that hooked up there, or if there's something like the RCA to a 12 volt that I can plug into the. Actually, there isn't any control there with the ASI Air, is there? But yeah, if there is like an extender cable that I have managed to somehow miss online, I would be appreciative, grateful if anybody does have that. Available, because not that I've had, it's like noticing now there is a great deal of condensation that builds up, and I've shared some images on Twitter with the amount of condensation that looks like it looks like, oh yeah, exactly, dew heater extension cable, 2 meter RCA. Why could I not find that? Of course it's on Astro Shop. Of course. Or maybe just everywhere I was looking never had one. But they ship worldwide, €20. So that's like, what's that exchange like Canadian? It's like $200. It's okay. But no, it's not ready for shipping in 24 hours. Okie doke. Not sure about photography equipment, but the thermal expansion tends to loosen up your eyepieces. They need to be tightened occasionally with one. And one eyepiece had mildew inside, which you were able to clean. Ooh, that's even worse. But as long as you can get that cleared out there. Thank you. Thank you. Free shipping within the USA. $20 minimum order applies. Oh, $17. I'm not in the USA, but it doesn't matter. That's a little closer. Holy potatoes. Thank you. Why was it that I could forget it? Some days I can Google and some days I can't. But I'm going to leave those tabs open. I'll check those out afterward. 3 screws pulls the tilt plate off, and the 6 screws around the edge of the camera. As your APS-C sensor wipe is with the ISO alcohol to remove the thermal paste if any leaked on. Then comes the fun part, chasing the inevitable tiny dust. Ooh. There was, oh my gosh, one day I was putting I was putting on a screen protector, and it was like at the last second, the whole thing is like, all the dust like just shot underneath the screen protector. I put it on and it was just tiny bubbles everywhere, and it was ruined. So yeah, it was so annoying. And it wasn't even like a really nice tablet. I ended up just buying a cover for the whole thing, and that was it. But it was just the dust. It's mine. Actually, the one thing that I'm actually I'm happy about is the built-in, the already installed screen protector that came on the S21. And silly me, I already bought a screen protector to go along with it, but they don't advertise that there's already a manufacturer installed screen protector on there. You had asked ZWO to deal with your camera, and they sent you PDF and do it yourself. Just do it yourself. Just fix it yourself. You can do it. I believe in you. Just don't it up. And you'll be fine. And you'll be fine. What's not fine, I'm going to tell you what's not fine is how I like the data. I'm kind of happy with how this is turning out. But no, I definitely going to go back and reprocess this one for sure. Actually, it wasn't until like two minutes before the stream started, I'm thinking I need to find the original ASI error, because it has the data that I was wanting to process tonight. So, except isn't that what warranty is for, though? That's true. It's like, what would their thought process be? Okay, I guess you would have a case. You would have a case with that if anything happened, and you say, well, fine, you told me to do this. Well, now it's screwed up because I slipped, or the cat jumped up on the table, or the dog barked, or anything like that. I dropped my taco in the camera sensor. Hey, it's all your fault. Here, now you can fix it. Now you can properly fix it for me. Thank you. New camera, please. That's the whole reason you're extremely unhappy with ZWO. I would say understandably so. It's just it seems for that they're not standing behind their product. Or is it that they figure that you ship it over? I don't know. Whoa, cheers. It's well, okay, like let's go 3 years ago. If you're having this problem, do you think they would be like, okay, fine, send it over? Is it just because it's like a shortage of everybody like who's working, or just how long it takes to get product over? I don't know. You wouldn't have cared. It's rainy season right now. I took apart everything and packed it up. It is. I mean, it's not raining, but we have we have all the clouds. We have all the clouds, and actually for the next week. Let's refresh our forecast now, shall we? And see what the weather has in store. A slight possibility that maybe Tuesday evening may give way. Maybe like from 1 until 6 in the morning. I'd be happy with that. But I am, before I take everything, before I take everything apart, before I switch the camera over to the RC8, I want to be able to get a few more hours on the Christmas tree cluster in broadband. So that is the last step in that project, is getting adding the broadband to the narrowband imaging on the Christmas tree cluster, and then it is seeing what's going on with the BAT, joining that program with Astro Biscuit, and seeing how well the ASIR Plus works at 1600 millimeters. Can I still get my plate solving? That's if that works, then I think there are some targets that we really want to be going after there. Partly cloudy tonight with rain, possible rain through the 4th. Ugh. Whew, that's. Well, I mean, I am really no different. Except that some of my rain is going to need to be shoveled the next morning. So, I mean, it gives us a chance to see how well the snowblower works and how well the tractor works. But we're like, okay, now we're getting up to like 6 degrees on Thursday, so there goes all our snow. Pardon me. Hold on. Oof. Okay. The weather is, well, it's unstable at best and unreliable for sure. Can't really always hold ourselves to that. Just always hope that we can maybe get a few hours of imaging. In there. Actually, we got this little bit. 10 o'clock. 10 in the morning on Tuesday. Something. Anything. Any kind of clear skies. We'll take some pictures of clouds. Maybe maybe the moon. We'll get a daytime moon. Forget it. If there is, we'll turn on the camera. We'll take a couple pictures. Why not? Anything. Any kind of imaging sessions there. But I'm going to say for tomorrow morning, for our Lazy Sunday Lego stream, I'm going to look through the collection of what we have. I'll put can I put a poll on the Discord? Is there a poll option? People want a short build or a long build? What's going on, Caleb? Hello. Good to see you. Welcome. How's your day going? Let's see, can we make a poll on here? I don't think you can. I figured I would have seen one by now, right? Ooh. Oh, that Malibu chicken. That Malibu chicken is coming back. The Malibu chicken's in the view again. Oh, it looks so good. Ma, they're making weird food. It looks good. Let's make some. Get some food together. Gotta tell you, I was talking about that macaroni and cheese I made earlier. That is calling for me. It's calling. All right, so let's see. Make a poll. How to make a poll in Discord. Step by step. Why is Bing still my default? I keep... And his server. Oh, invite simple poll bot. Use poll to make a poll. Oh. What is your favorite fruit? To quote his lioness. Hello. What's going on, Welsh boy? How are you? How are you doing this weekend? Just figuring, in fact, okay. Is it, it seems pretty quick. All right, let's, go to the simple poll bot on Top GG. All right, is there any problems with that? Are you tired of taking part in a 24-hour race for charity in iRacing? Oh, where are you headed to? Where's the, what's the goal? What's the target? Very noble of you for taking part in a 24-hour race. We're racing to Zolder. How far away is that? Does that take 24 hours to reach? And where are you doing this in? I'm glad to see you glad to see you in here. We have been I've been fighting with a little bit of the Zolder is a racetrack in Belgium. Of course. Why did my head like immediately go to like Star Citizen or it's totally Elite Dangerous. Why? You raised over 32,000 pounds. Wow. That's tremendous. That is amazing. How many people are involved in this? That's awesome. Is there a page that we can go to see the progress? You have a link for all this? Because that's fantastic. Yeah, no worries. No worries. All right. So like I was saying, our data set for this, I think overall it's clean. But yeah, I didn't take care of the stars enough. I didn't take care of the stars there.
Degrees different than the rest of Oregon. It's a pretty expensive place to live too, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Slowly. I've been going up in rent for like a lot of other places.
That's cool.
High attraction. We're a new tech.
That's one of the students. There's Just Giving. All right, excellent.
There's a lot of the towns in the outskirts. Westland.
So the people like take over, or is like there are a bunch of people on the track?
And then commute up to Portland to save on the cost of rent. Red Storm, you live in Bend, Oregon. Awesome. I know somebody in the Twitch world.
Very cool.
It's not too far away from me to swell. Unless it starts snowing or they're in the Cascades, getting over the pass isn't always easy bringing chains. But
You're in 29th place. So yeah, you guys just trying to take over for that, or
you live in New York already.
you have a team of 6. We swapped. There's different classes of cars. So you're in the fastest car, and there's 32 of us in that class alone.
But yeah, get 3,000 miles.
That's cool. That's I like that. That's a very cool concept for that.
That's another good place. People live in the valley.
There's like 80 entries all told, each with 6 people in it. That's a tremendous amount of people working together there.
I am inevitable.
What's up, Floyd? How are you? That's cool. So what? Well, sure. What point are they in? I don't see a progress bar unless I'm totally missing what time frame they're at. 12. Oh, I made the halfway mark. How are you feeling going through the 12 hours there? Doing good, Floyd. Doing well. You got to be up at 6 a.m. Clock's ticking. Is that for that? That's for your race there. Yeah, no, Floyd, doing well tonight. We've been doing the processing of our image. It's okay. I am not overly thrilled with the image, but I'm also being very critical. Another driving stint at 7 a.m. And how long do those the driving sessions go for? Well, yeah, no, thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Always good to see you in here. Now, one thing I was thinking about doing tonight, and I'll probably will maybe do it in another fashion, is I really need to start getting pictures up. I really need to start decorating more. Tomorrow after the Lazy Sunday Lego stream, the camera is going to be affixed to the wall. It's going to be put in this new position. I'm going to get this tripod back because there are times when embarrassing story time. I had a clear day. There was a perfectly sapphire blue sky, and the trees were clear of their leaves. Everything was nice and still and calm. It was a warm day. It was cold the day before. It was going to be the cold the day afterward. And I wanted to do a 360 panoramic view so I could actually put my backyard in stellarium, so that when we are looking, we can see what it is that's blocking our view, if anything. Maybe just a house. So I am running around the house like a madman looking for this tripod. Looking for the tripod. And it's suggested that I left the tripod in the office. I'm like, no, I wouldn't put the tripod in the office. We were just using it the day before to do take some photographs. I would have left it in the kitchen, running all around the house. Can't find the thing. I'm thinking, where have I put this? It could not be anywhere. And I refused to say that it was in this office, because I had a peek. I'm like, I wouldn't have put it in here. Why would I have left the tripod in here? You're like, still love you. Why would I have left the tripod in the office? I had no use for it. I had no reason to have it in there. I used the tripod outside to take images when there's actually some clear skies with a cell phone running around the house. At this point, I'm getting fed up. I'm sweating from running around the house. Need to run more. And it's nowhere. I walk in the office. Yes, so adorable. Mrs. Canuck used the tripod outside in heroic fashion to try to make sure we can get a decent cell signal. It was all for naught. However, it is like half a step into the office, and it's just one of those, oh. The tripod that I was looking for, the tripod that had my cell phone holder on it, the cell phone holder is in the drawer. The tripod that I was looking for is this one. It's been holding my camera up since we came back. Hey, lights? What are you doing? What are you doing? That's what it should be. So yes, adamant that I did not put the tripod in there. So each stint is a tank of gas, and given the average lap time, say an hour and a half. So a tank lasts an hour, so depending, there's no cautions, etc. So on that bombshell, you're gonna grab some sleep. All right, Welsh boy, have a good little snooze there. I'll kind of. Always good to see you. Wonderful to be back, and I think we're getting into that flow. Tomorrow morning we'll be back with our Lazy Sunday Lego stream. I haven't decided what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get that poll bot for Discord and see what kind of pops up there. If people want a one stream build or a multi-stream build, that's going to impact what set I choose, what we're going to do for tomorrow morning. So that is going to be 12 hours from now. It'll be 12 hours in up early, bug-eyed and bushy-tailed. We're lapping the entire nation of Belgium. Apparently it's a big track. It looks fairly interesting. But yeah, I think we'll check out who is on right now. Who do we got available for us? We'll wrap things up and be back in 12 hours time. Get a little bit of rest, and also just think about what we're going to build. If I can find any tab of Twitch, that'd be great. But no, I hope you guys enjoyed your time tonight. I like I said, I am happy with the data set. I'm happy with the data set on here. It's looking interesting, but I think I need to go back and really work on how I mask my stars and actually mask the stars properly. And there are a lot of other people who have put in some great videos out there, like AV Astronomy. Astro Backyard does some great tips on that, and we'll see what kind of hybrid possibly that we can come up with. If there's anything a little interesting that we can do for masking stars and trying to make our images look a little bit better. So I think I am. Oh, I think I know where we're going to go. I think I know where we're going to go. We haven't had the opportunity in a while. I do not use PixInsight yet, because I know there are some processes within PixInsight that will greatly improve some of the images that I've been working on there. Actually, I had on my laptop, I did have that 45-day trial, and I did like it. I really did like it, but it was just there were so many things to try to remember on there. And it's not saying that it was. It's just, I figured keeping at PixInsight would definitely work out there to improve our images, because Photoshop, we're bending it to our will. We are making it work for astrophotography, whereas PixInsight is totally designed to do that. So, like I said, I have tried that. I've tried PixInsight before, and I figure it's kind of the next step in the progression of actually, learning some new processing techniques and just improve some of the images, because it's fantastic. The PC, yeah, it probably will. There's a lot of processing that goes on with that, but we'll. Noise reduction takes freaking forever. OBS will crash. Oof. So then maybe it's kind of like, here's a bit of a prepared video. And also what I'm thinking about doing is trying to, I kind of want to do a, like one of the free Photoshops with a DaVinci Resolve or something like that, or whatever that equivalent one is, and just see how well that works for processing, how well we can kind of go through things with as much free software as possible. GIMP or Ciro. So I haven't tried that either. I've heard mixed reviews with GIMP.
He took his vorpal sword and...
All right. So, like I said, tomorrow morning we'll have a new Lego build. Actually, no, I will probably I'll just surprise you guys. I'll surprise you tomorrow morning. We'll do a little Lego build, and that will also give me time to add a couple of things on the channel that I wanted to work with here. All of our emotes, our new emotes that are mustache based, are going to last for the rest of the month, and that is in support of Movember. And for those of you who may have missed the stream last night, and if you did care to make any donation, you can continue on there to my brother's page for his Movember fundraiser, which I am very thankful that everybody who did pop in had a good time last night, and I think we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves, and we'll definitely go back and do a little more of the tier maker, because that was fun. That was a good time picking the mustaches. So maybe we'll do a Messier marathon for tier maker and see what is the best set of nebulae. But for now, we're gonna send you guys over to Glorgana. It's nothing gross today, nothing ridiculous, but this seems like a fun one. How to build your own dinosaur out of chicken bones. It's not something I knew I wanted to do, but you know what, we'll give it a whirl anyway. But yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Those are our raid messages. If you want to copy them down, subscriber or unsubscribed or not subscribed, either or, we got you guys covered. Yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me get that raid message over there. But glad to have you guys in here. I want to thank everybody who came in today, everybody who hung out and lurked, and those who subscribed, resubscribed, and our new followers to the channel. It is always wonderful to see you guys in here. But we'll be back tomorrow morning, 12 hours from now. We'll do a little bit of our Lego build, have some fun, do something wonderful there. But have a very good evening, a very good morning, a very good afternoon, wherever you are. As always, I have been Tom. I am the Astro Canuck. Not here to change the world. I'm here to share the universe. Have a very good evening, and we will see you soon.